Hey, what's up, John Orange? It's not ads and chats. It's the Sweatsuit Invitational. What's up, Mads Mexico? Just as good. Sounds good to me. It's a new set. That's pretty good. What's up, Breedable? Zane Plank. I have not played. Oh no, I did play. I played one draft. I just drafted and I played like one round. It was like I did like a traditional and I won. I think I won round one. But yeah, basically I don't know the cards. I'll be reading the cards during this. Thank you, Ewan. Appreciate the 15 months of support. Thank you also, Vlaxitron. Thanks. Yeah, the beard's filling in nicely. I even sort of trimmed it. Because I mean, I'm not looking to keep it like super long, but you know, it's going to get thicker because I've only had it for a few months. But I'm looking to go. I just took like a number 3 hair buzzer and just did my beard and my head the same length. That's going to be my strategy as I've now that I've accepted middle agedness and I don't really care about how I look very much. I just want to be like presentable. That's my strategy moving forward. Once a month, I grab my like buzzer and I just give my like head and beard a number 3. I do like the look of this set, MTG Arena Player. I like the look of the mechanics. Flashback gives you more resources, but tends to make cards less powerful the first time you cast them, so they punish bad draws less. Um, the other thing, Disturb, is basically just fancy flashback for creatures, and that's like kind of even cooler. The fact that you don't just get the same thing twice, you get like a different thing, means that like you have to consider how much you want to kill something when it's in play. That's really strategic and interesting. So I love that mechanic. Um, I mean, I saw they're using a good amount of ward, but I think that's fine. Coven, I mean, I don't really love Coven, but again, it does present you with decisions like, do I trade off this 2-drop or do I just not attack or block with it to make sure that I still have Coven on? So, I mean, it's kind of interesting. So, yeah, I think the mechanics look good. I really haven't played. Like, I cracked a sealed earlier and then I did like a draft, but I literally don't know all the commons or anything. But the mechanics look good. Yeah, I agree with that. But I mean, flashback and disturb are basically flashback, right? Like disturb is fancy flashback for creatures, and like that's a good mechanic for limited. It's like cycling. It's the kind of mechanic that just makes the games better. It just gives you options and mitigates flood and screw, just fundamentally. So I mean, to have flashback and disturb, I'm excited about that. I got to see how these werewolves really play out. Werewolf was a really bad mechanic the first time around. I don't know if anybody caught it, but I tweeted something about it and then deleted it really quickly. It wasn't that it was like wrong or offensive. It was just, you know what? I played literally with it once and I tweeted that. And I was like, you know what? Let me just actually jam like a bunch with this new werewolf mechanic, which is very different than anything we've ever seen before I actually put out my opinion on it. Because some mechanics are like more similar to previous like things we've played with, so I need less experience to feel like I have an accurate opinion. And like Disturb is like I said, Disturb is kind of similar to Eternalize, kind of similar to Flashback. I understand what Disturb is bringing to the table pretty well. Werewolf is a very kind of what's I don't know the good English word for this. It's a very like different mechanic. It's not fundamental. Werewolf is not fundamentally similar to other things or a lot of other things. And then this like change to werewolf, though I understand what it is and how it works, it doesn't mean I properly understand how much it's going to affect the cards. You know what I mean? Like the way the cards are going to play differently because of this change, I can't have a good intuitive sense of yet. So that's why I after I tweeted my initial thoughts on it, I was like, you know what? Let me delete this, jam it for like a day or two so that I actually understand kind of at least somewhat like, internally and intuitively how this new werewolf affects things. Oh, I don't speak any other language. I just meant like I don't know. There's probably a good fancy word for that. I just don't know what it is. I would assume when something is just like not particularly similar, not very similar to many other things in its space. I'm assuming that's the definition of some like SAT word or whatever. Divergent, yeah, that sounds like Divergent covers that pretty well, I think. All right, let's see. Should be about time to get in the draft queue, do some sweating. Hey, thanks, XO. Appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing. I know I'm not streaming a lot right now, so if you're not subscribing and you were previously, I totally understand. But if you are still subscribing, thank you for the support. It is very much appreciated. I do consider it just a huge compliment as a whole that so many people choose to support my content. Sorry if there's any mic popping or any of that. The one issue I've honestly, as I've not been streaming, and I have had a lot more like time to spend, I've been doing things with it, but I have been like trying to take care of some of these basic tech issues and stuff. I don't know what to do about this Discord one. I've tried to like read threads about it and Google it and look a couple of times. Like I'm not very good with technology. Obviously, if you've been following my stream for a long time, you know technology is not really my thing. But I just don't know what the deal is with it. Like when I voice connect, I use Streamlabs, basically the same thing everybody uses. You know, the most common program. And like when I connect to Discord voice, like if I try and share my screen or anything, it causes it to start like popping once in a while on the mic. I have no idea like how to address that. Anyways, though, let me know if it's doing it, and I'll just try and disconnect from anything I'm connected to on Discord, including closing Discord if I need to. Still working on it, Hypnotoad, but I also might stream more if I like the set more. All of these things are like, you know, honestly, it's not like they're that calculated of decisions. Like I think about them, but they're somewhat multi-factor. Like part of why I wasn't streaming that much was because I really didn't enjoy adventures much. It's just kind of a very vanilla, boring, limited format. And then part of it was because I'm putting in extra poker hours to help save for a house. So it's, you know, it's a little of both. But we'll see. I mean, the set does look fun, and Dungeons was supposed to be the core set, so let's. I want to give this one a fair shake. You know, like I don't want to prejudge it based on the last formats. I mean, that could easily be what it is, Walnut Umbo. Do you have any idea how to like be connected to Discord but not have that? Like, can I turn off like noise cancellation feature from Discord? My first language is draft. Ixo knows. I've been drafting pretty regularly since I was like 13 or so. Let me get in the draft queue to make sure I'm not holding them up. I don't currently know if I'm the last one they're waiting on or not. It's supposed to start at 7, like 5 minutes ago or so. And then I will try and address the Discord issue and see if that's something we can take care of. Okay, so I am... in the draft queue. Oh yeah, you see a black screen because I'm not capturing arena and I'm not display capturing right now. There's literally like nothing. You won't see a black screen in a second. Sorry, and my cam went away because I threw some arena on top of it because I'm adding it. It'll be back to normal in a second. I'm back. Voila! Now we're ready to sweat. Thank you for resubscribing, Pedro. Very much appreciated. You can watch me and LSB simultaneously, Wolo. Just need 2 screens. One of us on Twitch, one of us on your phone, and one of us on your computer or something, right? Hey, thanks. Appreciate all the beard compliments. It's really coming in. I waited till 37 to grow a beard for the very first time in my entire life. I mean, and I've always been a pretty hairy guy, so I probably had the ability to do it to varying degrees at earlier points. But this is only a couple months in, and I've already trimmed it once too. Definitely grew pretty thick pretty quickly. So I'm going to try and address the sound issue while I've got my tech support, my Twitch chat. Y'all are my official tech support. So audio... Oh, never mind. The draft's going to start. We'll try and address that later. Now, I'm going to have to pay really close attention, and I'm going to need help. And I'm not just saying that to try and, like, get y'all more involved. Like, legitimately, like, I don't know a lot of the cards. I know some of them. Like I said, I cracked a sealed or two, and then I did a draft, but that's it. I don't read the previews or anything. So I am legitimately going to need your help. So if I'm trying to, like, if there's, like, an awesome card in the pack or whatever, please type it. If you see me, like, reaching towards, you know, something terrible, feel free to say it. I mean, listen, I know the set came out today. Like, you know, we don't all know what's great and what's not yet. I'm just saying. All right, so 5 damage to each creature in Planeswalker. That seems pretty powerful. It's a Wrath. And then if you don't want a Wrath, you can create 3 1/1 Devils. That seems really good. I'm going to highlight that while I read the rest of the pack. I saw this card. It looks pretty good. 2 mana 0/4 blocker early, Starry Angel late. Oh yeah, let me move the cam a little. Sorry, or at least make it smaller. I guess we can just move it. So let's see. Arcane Infusion. Look at the top 4 cards. Reveal an instant or sorcery. That doesn't seem very good. I mean, if you hit both times, it's fine, but that seems like a constructed card. Blade Witch Scab. Other zombies get +1/+0. 2 mana 2/3. I assume there's a blue-black zombie deck. If there's plenty of them at common, this card is very good, or at least good. I mean, it's just a 2 mana 2/3, but still +1/+0 to all the rest of your creatures, or most of them, is pretty powerful on a 2 mana 2/3. Oh, okay, yeah, you can click over there to see the other side. I was like, I remember the other side of this card. It's a common, and I've seen it. I'm going to take the Sweeper. I mean, I don't know what red does in this format or anything like that, but I've talked about this from time to time. It's a really important concept since they've been designing for it more and more lately. If you take a card like a Sweeper that's really good some of the time, but pretty bad others, and then you make it just okay in the times it's really bad, that raises the total value of the card a ton. Because you get like all that upside when it 3-for-1s the opponent or wins you a game nothing else could. But then the times where it would have been dead and you lose a close game, you just get to like cycle it. You get to get something okay out of it instead. All right, let's see. This is 2 mana 2/2, Daybound. So I mean, just a fine 2-drop, I assume. I mean, I don't know what the other hat side is. 3/3, good against artifacts, enchantments. Given I'm literally reading the cards, I'm going to try and draft red. I'm not going to like force it, but Immolation, 1 mana +2/-2. Yeah, that seems like pretty good removal. I mean, 1 mana kill a creature toughness 2 or less. I don't know if there's like red-black sack or anything. Pax Betrayal. These cards don't seem that exciting. I think it's Immolation or Liberator. I guess I'll go with Immolation since I did first pick what looks to be a good red rare. All right, so let's see what the red uncommon is. Whenever a spell you control deals damage, put a flame counter on it. You're probably not going to have that many spells that deal damage. Remove a flame counter, exile a top card of the library. You can play it, so that's pretty good, though. Because even if you just play one, you get to draw another card. You don't have to, like, accumulate flame counters. Whenever a spell you control deals damage, transform it. So you have to play one to transform it and then another one to draw a card, and it's a 2 mana 2/2. Seems good, but still, like, maybe more... It's going to be hard to get a lot of value out of that, but it's a good 2 mana 2/2, obviously. Destroy a creature without flying. Yeah, that's really good. 3 mana instant, just destroy a creature, basically, unless there's an excessive number of flyers. If an opponent lost life, add 3 red. So this is a cool card. So if you hit them, you basically get a 1 mana 4/3. I like the looks of this Famished Foragers. Up to 2 target creatures can't block. Flashback, I don't know if we're going to be that aggressive. So I think it's between Flame Channeler and Foragers. Or the black removal, I guess, yeah, too. And I guess this is probably a really good removal spell unless there's an excessive number of flyers. Plus, if there's ways to splash, it's single black. I'll go with that, because those red cards seem fine, but not that great. I do like that if the looks of this card if you're aggro, though. I mean, the ability to just like hit them and then on turn 4, double spell, play this and play something else seems pretty strong to me. 3 mana 2/3 menace. If it's neither day or night, it becomes day. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, 1 to the opponent. That's not very exciting. It's not going to be that easy to flip day and night that much. If it pinged creatures, that would be exciting. But Sacred Fire, red and white, deal 2 damage to any target and gain 2 life with flashback. So this card's good. This can kill 2 creatures. This is a pretty exciting card if we go like red-white control. So you create a decay unless you're sacking it for value. But there's Immolation, which seems like okay removal. Famished Foragers, which seems like a pretty solid creature. Or this red-white gold card is clearly the best. It's just, it's white and we're not that yet. Maybe I'll go with the Sacred Fire. I mean, this is a pretty good card. Like, deal 2 twice over the course of a game, gain 2. Gain 2 twice. It's neither day nor night. It becomes day as Obsessive Astronomer. Remember, also, cards are context dependent. So when I'm telling you how good or bad a card looks right now, I haven't played the format really, so I'm telling you like in the aggregate, right? We don't know in the context of this format how good or bad the card is. So I just want to stress, take everything with a grain of salt, including your own opinions. Try not to get anchored to your own opinions too quickly. That's the reason I don't read the previews. I don't read like all this like stuff about the set before the set comes out, is because I don't want to like form opinions from that, because then it becomes harder to change them. So I try and just like go in with a blank slate. Whenever a day becomes night, night becomes day, discard up to 2 cards and draw that many. That's kind of cool. It's a 2-mana 2/2. This is a 2-mana 2/1. When attacks ping, okay, whatever. Yeah, I'll go. I mean, Obsessive Astronomer seems pretty strong to me, especially if we're doing more of a controlling red. 5-mana, 5/4 trample. When it enters the battlefield, +1/+1 counter on it if an opponent lost life this turn. Just one, though, right? Not like 1 per life. So that's cool. You can get like a 6/5 trample for 5. That's a pretty strong creature. A 5/4 trample for 5 is fine in most formats. Target player draws 2 and loses 2. That could be fine. Not an exciting way to draw 2 for 3, though. 1-mana, 1/1 for strike as long as it's attacking and it pumps. So it's good for dealing 1 to the opponent, but it's an aggressive card. Destroy target creature toughness 4 or greater. If we do a red-white control, we might be interested in that. So none of these cards seem very exciting to me. I guess if we're going to do a bigger deck, we might want that. I don't know. So clearly we're going to draft red, and then we have no idea what we're playing with red. I mean, we could just easily play red-green as red-black or red-white, right? We haven't really seen white or black. We just have a bunch of red cards. It becomes night until end of turn. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains trample. This seems like some kind of aggressive red-green card that even if we ended up here wouldn't really be what we want. What about the Ruffin? 4-mana 2/5. Now this might be more our speed. It blocks well when you play it, and then it turns into a nice win con. I'd be pretty interested in the Ruffian, I think. If there's a lot of 1 toughness creatures, this ping could be good. And this is best of 3 with sideboard, right? This is 1 damage to a creature and 1 damage to its controller, which I don't really care about, but maybe a little bit, and then draw a card. I think this card has potential. I have no idea if there's a lot of 1 toughness creatures in this format or not. But given we're playing best of 3, I can also even just board it in and out. So that seems like it has some decent upside. 4-mana 3/2 flying disturb. What is it on the backside? 2/2 flyer. That's pretty good. If they deal with your 4-mana 3/2 flyer, you get another 2/2 flyer they got to deal with potentially. So pretty strong card. Immolation, we've already seen, just does 2. 2-mana 2/2, can't block. Not super excited about that. I'm going to take the removal for now. So Plummet, decent sideboard card. If we go green, enters the battlefield, exile 1 card from a graveyard. Seems fine. I like that they realized 5-mana 3/4 flyer should be the standard and not 5-mana 3/3 flyer. I know they realized it a few sets ago, but like 5-mana 3/3 flyer was just not seeing play. So Candle Trap's decent removal, right? If we're controlling, we stop a creature in its tracks immediately, and then if it has activated abilities or something, maybe we can exile it. So it looks like red-white control. Maybe we'll splash defensive trait. Maybe we won't. Seems to be what we're looking at. Candle Trap's good removal, right? I mean, this just kills anything as long as you're not trying to attack. Just turns a creature into a defender. And you can still attack into it. It just gets a block because you prevent the damage it would deal, right? So this seems fine. As long as we're going to draft like a red-white control deck, then these Candle Traps seem excellent. So, I mean, we have a lot of cheap removal. This is a deck where I'll probably choose to draw first with 2 Immolations, 2 Candle Traps. Oh, well, not probably in a sweeper. I'm 100% going to draw first in every matchup with this deck. And then we need to look for like stuff that gives us card advantage, you know, ways to close out that like don't just die to removal and stuff like that. Because we have so much cheap removal, we're going to be really hard to run over, but we could just lose on power level, right? Like we don't have planeswalkers. We need like card drawing engines. We need planeswalkers because our opponent is not going to kill us quickly, right? Sacred Fire is 2 mana, deal 2, gain 2, and then we have 4 1-mana removal spells that stop at least cheap creatures. So we might lose because they have better cards than us, but we're not going to get run over. So that means what we want to start focusing on is like card engines and, you know, stuff like that. Things that draw a card every turn. I mean, obviously if it was cube, we'd want planeswalkers, and regular limit, you don't just get to open a planeswalker. But I'm just saying, like, things that provide value turn after turn, like card drawing engines, resource engines. All right, let's see. So these duels are cool, but not particularly exciting to us, obviously. 4-mana 2/4. Odric's Outrider, another creature you control dies. Put up some counter on a creature. That seems fine. Not that exciting. I mean, I guess if you trade it off, you get a +1/+1 counter, so it's fine. Pay a life, discard a card, draw a card, mill a card, then put a ritual counter on it. So you lose a life to rummage a card, and mill is slightly positive. Then if it has 3, you flip it into 4/4 flying. This isn't that hard to grow a few times. Okay. Seems fine. Additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards, flashback. This is kind of what I'm talking about. I think our deck's going to need things like Electric Revelation. I don't think this is that strong a card. I'm certainly not saying we're going to first pick it here or not, but I think that's the kind of card our deck with all of its cheap removal needs. All right, the Falconer's Predator looks very unexciting. So I think this is like the Outrider, the Revelation, the Search Party Captain. This card looks decent. 4 mana, just 2/2 draw a card is also kind of good for our deck. None of these cards are very exciting for us. I don't know. I'll go with the Search Party Captain. I think that's a really bad first pick, but I mean, not that my pick was horrible. I think it was just a very bad pack for us, and that pick could easily have been wrong, but I don't think there was anything like exciting for red-white control in that pack. Like, I don't think I passed anything that was very good in red-white control. If we wanted to still consider branching out, maybe. Okay, so Flame Channeler. Do we have spells that deal damage? Sacred Fire, but it does have buyback, so we get to play it twice. Neonate's Rush. And Burn Down the House. So we do. We have 4 cards already. What is Cathartic Pyre? 3 damage to a creature, so I'm already interested in that. 2 mana instant, deal 3. Discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many. Okay, this card looks excellent. This is like good removal, and if we are already holding a removal and they don't have anything, but we're holding 2 lands, we can just discard 2 and draw 2 instead. This card should see constructed play, Cathartic Pyre, I think. For 2 mana, you get either 3 damage or double Rummage. That seems pretty sweet. Destroy artifact. Okay, sideboard card, fine, whatever. Immolation, we already have 2, fine, whatever. Yeah, this just seems like Cathartic Pyre by a lot, right? Okay, well, you know I like Cathartic Pyre. I won't spend this entire pack raving about it again. You just, that would be wasting your time. We'll probably take it, but let's see what the other red and white cards are. Trample, Daybound, 3 mana, 3/2. So what's the backside? This thing looks powerful. And the backside is 4/4. Okay, so this is clearly a good card. I don't think it's better than Pyre. Especially not if you're more of a control deck than an aggro deck, though probably not either way. Enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Well, that seems pretty good. You get 4 power and 5 toughness for 4 mana, and it goes wide. Again, probably not better than Pyre, but a nice common, I think. Oh, but you have to have 2 different creatures, or you only get 1 counter. It's put a counter on up to 2 creatures, which is fine. That's not really any less valuable. If you got both counters every time, that wouldn't really be particularly less valuable than 2 on 1. But the fact is you're only going to get 1 counter out of it a lot of the time. Like, you can't put both on itself, right? It's like 1 on it and then 1 on something else. Or 2 on other things. Okay, so that card seems fine. But slightly less exciting because you do have to have another creature out to get the full value. Thanks, Or Wellington. Correct anything I say that's wrong. Don't shout at me, but do let me know, because I am reading a lot of the cards for the first time. So this is pre-release with a pro night here in the sweatsuit. If I even count as a pro anymore. To be fair, I don't think I do. We'll say an old has-been. All right, let's see. Burn the Accursed deals 5 damage to target creature and 2 damage to that creature's controller. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Okay, I'm down for that. Decent removal. This is just an okay 2-drop, and it's aggressive. Again, this card does not seem particularly good at all to me, Brimstone Vandal. You're not switching Day to Night that often, and it doesn't ping creatures when it does, just the opponent. Fine 5-drop. Okay, so this is clearly Burn the Accused. Hall of Fame is for life. That is true. Enough of your sass, Gratz cutie. I probably didn't even see it, or I saw it like today or something. So what is this dragon? I hope it's good. I mean, this is like 5th pick, so I don't know if it's going to be busted. 5 mana, 4/3 flying. Attacks, it deals 1 to target creature. If that creature is a zombie, it does 2 instead. Yeah, not busted, but pretty good. I like a 5 mana, 4/3 flying pinger. And it's a good sign that we'll see a lot of red in pack 3. Probably not that many red players in this pod. Which makes sense, given I drafted almost mono red pack 1. I'm assuming it's not close with these cards. Enters the battlefield, return an instant or sorcery. Yeah, that actually seems good for our deck. But we have 2 Cathartic Pyres and Sacred Fire. I would like this Ardent Elementalist. I'm going to take the Dragon. But Ardent Elementalist honestly looks really strong for our deck. I don't even know for sure if the Dragon's better. Yeah, Elementalist might have been better. I took the dragon kind of because it's a pre-release, so it looks powerful. It really depends on how many 2 toughness zombies and 1 toughness creatures there are. I mean, if this card attacks and pings things and kills them, that's literally a ridiculous card. But if it's not really pinging things off, a 5-mana 4/3 flyer is just, like, fine. Like, it's, you know, that's a fine Magic card, but, like, it's nothing exciting. Alright, so let's see. Enters the battlefield. So this is, like, a new Soul Warden, and the Disturb flips into, like, a 1/1 flyer. That seems very unexciting. Playable for Coven, maybe, and some stuff like that, but very unexciting. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, gains Vigilance. Flashback, also unexciting. Artifact kill for the sideboard, probably the best we're going to do out of this pack. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. This could be a good aggro card. Obviously not what we're looking for in our 12,000 removal, no creatures control deck. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it gets +2/+0. And again, even if we have a decent amount of instant sorceries, like, what are we doing? Turning this into a 3/3, like, sometimes during our main phase to attack with it? Very unexciting for us. I don't really want any of these cards. So I guess I'll take the 2-drop, but that's probably not going to make my deck. I'm just taking it just in case the opponent has a bunch of 2/1s and 3/1s and I want an early blocker or something like that. Alright, I like the look of a gold uncommon. Hopefully this is a good one. Trample Haste, 3/3. Okay, unless it has a major drawback, it's already a good one. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day, and whenever day becomes night, oh, this card is excellent. So it's a 3-mana 3/3 Trample Haste. It's already a Bugbear with Trample, and from the last set Bugbear. And then anytime it makes it day, and then whenever it flips to night, it gets a +1/+1 counter, and if it flips back to day, it gets another +1/+1 counter. Like, this card is excellent. Obviously, I'm not saying, like, you know, you'd first pick it's a red, white, gold card, but we're red, white, so I'm down. Alright, so Revelation, like I said, not some great card. I'm not saying this is even necessarily an auto-include in every red deck. If you're aggressive, this is not the kind of effect you want. But if you have 7 cheap removal spells and you're looking to play super long games, Electric Revelation is exactly the kind of effect you want. So that's going to be a clear choice for us here. We're also committed to red-white. If we get, like, 2 Evolving Wilds, I'll splash the defense straight, but we don't need to. Black is not an option as far as, like, as a color we're actually going to play. Splashing defense straight is an option. So these are the cards that are likely to make our deck. So what is this? If it's neither day or night, it becomes day. Instant and sorceries cost X less. Seems decent, but I don't think we're going to splash for it, so just grab another Immolation. Regardless of how many we main, again, this is best of 3, and there are some decks you'd love to have 6 copies of Immolation in. You're going to choose to draw in your control deck. Now, you wouldn't necessarily want to main that many copies, because you might draw 2, 3, 4 copies in a game, and only the first one might have a decent target. But if you see your opponent has 9 good targets for it, you know, because they're an aggro deck or whatever, then you'll take any number out of the sideboard. I don't know that Neonit's Rush is good. I mean, it really depends how many 1 toughness creatures there are in the format, right? Like, it's 3 mana draw a card. So every time this kills a 1 toughness creature, it's good. And every time it doesn't, it's not. And I have no idea how many 1 toughness creatures there are in this format. I don't think we're going to play all these 5-drops, but I do think there's a higher chance we would use them than Brimstone Vandal, which, again, does not really seem good to me. I'm not saying that it doesn't have its place or anything. I mean, remember, I'm talking about in the context of drafting a red-white control deck. Our deck is not dealing damage at all and not getting run over ever. Like, we have 5 1-mana removal and 2 Cathartic Pyre and Sacred Fire. Like, we stop early aggression better than any control deck in Constructed. But how much damage can we deal the opponent? We literally have, like, a 2-drop creature, like 1/2/2. Like, our deck is, like, incapable of making the life total go down quickly. We are about as controlling as a deck can be. So, on that note, Flame Chandler, again, fine. 2-mana 2/2. If we burn things, it's pretty good, and we have 3 burn spells. And Neonate's Rush is 4, plus some card drawing. I actually think Flame Chandler might work out pretty well in our deck, since we're looking to play long games. Flare of Faith seems like it has potential as a pump spell, but that's for an aggro deck with creatures. Target creature gets +1 on turn. Something about trample. Again, I don't know. I'm not evaluating the combat tricks right now when I'm seeing them for the first time. For a red-white control, this is clearly Flame Chandler. Oh, yeah, we do have Burn the Accused also. So we have a good amount. Yeah, so I think Flame Channeler will actually work out pretty well in our deck. Because we're looking to play these long games and burn off all their creatures, and then we should get to flip it and draw cards. So let's see. Obsessive Astronomer seemed fine, right? Turns it in a day, and then whenever it flips, you get that Rummage, and we're looking to play long games. So obviously it's not like a great card, but it seems fine. The Ruffian is kind of the same. Like, 4 mana 2/5 blocks fine, and then eventually we'll turn into a 6/5. Obviously it's not like a great card, but it seems like something we would use. We already read this. This card might be exciting, Gavany Silversmith, in like a white weenie aggro deck. It just doesn't seem exciting for our deck, because you have to have another creature out already to get the 4 power, 5 toughness. Don't really want 5-drops unless they're especially good. We already have 3 that are better than the Griff, I think. So this looks like... What is Ritual Guardian? I don't think I've seen this card. If you have creatures with... Okay, Coven is not an ability we can turn on. So this is a 3 mana 3/2. So this is basically Astronomer or Ruffian, I think. I think it's just going to be Astronomer then. It's a 2-drop. It's cheap. Lets us draw cards, rummage away extra lands over long games. So this can help you, like, splash. So this is a way to splash defensive trait. 1 tap, make a mana. So it just filters for free, basically. Cost 2 to put out. And then you can flip it, and then you get a 5 mana 5/6, because you pay 5 to flip it. That's not very exciting. I'm not saying you wouldn't play it, potentially, to allow you to splash or something like that. You might, but it just doesn't seem like a very exciting card. Yeah, Tapper looks good for long games, sure. Although, honestly, Tappers can actually be better if you're aggro, because you can go end of turn tap, on tap tap, and then, like, really kill opponents when you wouldn't be able to otherwise. I mean, sure, I can sink 2 mana into this forever and kill big creatures, and that's fine. I'm certainly going to play Gavany Trapper if I take it, but I don't think this card would actually be exceptional in my deck. But maybe it's better than the Ruffian. Although I do have some of the flip stuff now. I think I'm going to go with the Daybound with the werewolf theme here. This pick might be terrible, but I just don't think I need to be tapping something as opposed to just killing it. But I have several Astronomers that I want to be able to flip now, and the Flame Channeler, and I don't know, I just think like the whole werewolf theme, like, working together, you know, because you make more of a sacrifice, you know, you don't cast anything, you flip your stuff, you flip more than one thing, you know, you stockpile your spells, cast 2 things at once, flip more than one thing. I think I want to prioritize decent werewolves for me at this point, now that I have like 4 or 5. All right, so we would take Sunrise Cavalier for sure, except that there's a chance we could table it. That doesn't mean we want to gamble, but we did get one like 7th pick or something last pack, so there's almost certainly we're the only red-white player in this pod. So if there's like a good red or white removal, we might gamble on the Cavalier, right? Target creature gets +X/+0 and gains first strike. No. 3 mana 3/2. It's neither day or night. It becomes day. I like the look of this card, actually. White card drawing for our werewolf deck, but I guess I won't gamble. But there's a decent chance, if that Sanctifier is quite good, that I should take the Sanctifier, because I can table the Cavalier. Like, the Cavalier is obviously better than the Sanctifier, but somebody only has to be playing white to take that, whereas they have to play red and white to take the Cavalier. All right, so now we can pick up the Elementalist. This card looks excellent for us. We have lots of good instants and sorceries, right? I maybe should have took that the first time over the Dragon. I'm really not sure. This is a fine 4-drop for a deck like ours. Goes a little wide, 2 bodies. Not close to the Elementalist, I'm assuming. Looks like Aaron Rodgers. I'll take it. And, like, look, I can't throw a football like him, but, you know, he's, you know, in his field what he is, and I'm in Magic, you know, what I am. And if you want to compare me in Magic to Rodgers in football, works for me. I've been a huge Aaron Rodgers fan for a very long time. I remember actually, like, he played, like, halftime when Brett Favre was still the starter in Green Bay. Like, when Brett Favre got hurt against, like, Dallas one game in, like, 2005 or 6. And I, like, watched him play that, like, second half. And my first thought was, I hope the Dolphins sign this guy next year. I hope Green Bay is not attached to their backup. Like, that was literally, like, the first time I'd ever seen him play. Like, sometime during his, like, first or second year when he was backing up Favre. When Ambitious Farmhand enters the battlefield, you may search your library for basic planes, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Transform it, activate only if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. Well, we're probably not going to be good at flipping it, but a 2 mana 1/1 that puts a land in our hand is pretty good for our deck, and maybe we'll flip it at some point. So 3 mana 3/2, this seems worse. The Smith seems fine, not great. These seem not great. Yeah, okay, I'm going to go with the Farmhand. Who's Tom Brady? I mean, I think that's clearly Paulo at this point, right? Like, just, like, playing this long from so young to so old, and he's just right on trucking, like, winning worlds. Like, he's not as old as me. He's probably, like, 33 or something. But, like, he's showing, like, no signs of slowing down. Like, I mean, I guess he's going to slow down now because WotC basically ended OP. But from the start of, like, you know, from 2005 or 6 to now, just basically going the whole way, you know? Like, I think that's Paulo's definitely, I'm not saying he's necessarily the most talented. I think he's extremely, extremely talented, but he could be the number 3 most technical player of all time, or number 5, or number 1, or number 2, whatever. But I think if you want to say, like, who's just, like, the GOAT, you know, like the career, like, greatness of career, I think that's Paulo, for sure. Like, you know, Aaron Rodgers could play quarterback technically better than Tom Brady. That's possible. Tom Brady has accomplished way more at quarterback than Aaron Rodgers has. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so these cards don't matter. Yes, and not only do I think there's a reasonable way base 6, that's exactly what I think is going to happen. I think if you're, like, out there right now and you've got a lot more energy than me and you want to, like, organize something, I would organize, like, a tournament series. I think that this is basically a wide open market and there's lots of demand. Like, not this day, like, with COVID and whatever, but just, like, you know, preparing to get it going on a local level and build it up bigger and take it, like, national, global, whatever. I think the demand certainly exists. And I think whoever does that well can definitely make money and provide a good service to Magic at the same time. I don't know if that's going to be Star City or CFB or TCG or some person right now who's talking to who runs a local store and knows the other local stores in their, you know, town and are, you know, organizing their power together to go online and to try and build. But I do think that there is definitely a demand for, like, organized play. So if WotC's not going to do it, whoever's going to fill that space, like, the demand is there. Like, so do a good job, and you can. That's definitely an opportunity that exists. Let's see. And I'm definitely not going to build that, like, from scratch, but if somebody is and you want me to get involved, possibly, feel free to shoot me an email and we'll talk. You know, like, I'm definitely interested in helping promote that and stuff. I just do not have the energy to be the, like, primary TO or something like that. But yes, I definitely believe there will be series of big tournaments when it's safe to run them in the not too distant future. Probably not by WotC, but I don't know. I have not tried Flesh and Blood. I'm not really super interested in a card game I can't play online. Somebody said there's, like, a simulator or something. Like, I like going to the local store and playing with paper cards, but the vast majority of any card game I play for the rest of my life is going to be played on the internet. Like, so if Flesh and Blood gets, like, an app working, I mean, look, I don't expect a new company to have an Arena Hearthstone level program. If they want to make something roughly the equivalent of, like, what OnTap's program does when you, like, watch and replay games and just be able to play through something that looks like that, I would happily try out Flesh and Blood. But I'm not interested in in-person only. Like, just doesn't fit my life that well. I need to be able to play the app from the poker table. I need to be able to play the app from home. I mean, or on my computer. It's just what I want at this point in my life. All right, so let's see. We're not going to play that card. It's obviously random aggressive 2-drop. I'm only cutting super obvious ones to start. All of these cards seem fine. I mean, this card, even though I kind of gushed about it a little bit for aggro, it's not really what our deck loves. But, you know, we do get to take advantage of that rummage ability in long games. It's playable. So this is 25 that I would conceivably play all of. We have the ability to get rid of extra lands a few different ways, and we're looking to play long games. I mean, a lot of our cards are cheap, and we are going to choose to draw first, and Ambitious Farmhand does get a land, though. So this deck seems like it's between 16 and 17. Our Curvin's at 5, but we don't really care if we get stuck on 2 if we've got, like, Immolations and Cathartic Pyres. But we also can get rid of extra lands that we draw, like by rummaging them away with Foragers, with Revelation, when these Astronomers flip back and forth. So this is like a between 16 and 17. I'd probably go 17, but because we have the Farmhand, I'll probably go 16. Because the Farmhand is basically just like, 2 mana search for a land, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, I could also cut the Farmhand. I know it's good because you get a 2-mana 1/1, then if you flip it, it's a real creature. We're not going to be good at all at Coven. We have very few creatures. But that doesn't mean if we're going to play these long games, we can't end up with 3 out and flip it at some point. What does it turn into? 3/3 lifelink, which is excellent for us. Well, so I agree, Hypnotoad, but remember, Ambitious Farmhand is basically a land. Like, if Ambitious Farmhand was another Flame Channeler and you would play 17, that likely means you would play 16, because this is 2 mana Search for a Land. It's not like Search for a Land sometimes. It's not like Search for a Land if you meet conditions X, Y, and Z. It's literally 2 mana when it comes into play, Search for a Land. So it's, that's why I'm between 16 and 17. And that's why I'm leaning 16 because of the farmhand. But without the farmhand, it would be 17 for sure. Remember, I'm also going to choose to draw first every game because I have so much cheap removal. So that's why I think I'll probably play 16 because I'm going to get to choose to draw and play the farmhand. So we have to cut 1 card if we go with 16. And it could be 17, but I think it's 16 based on that. If my opponent chooses to draw and I'm going to have to play, I may board in a 17th land. So we got to cut like 1 card. Forager, let's look at the cuttables. Third Immolation is certainly cuttable. These 2 drops are really good. I already cut the mediocre one. I mean, Farmhands may be cuttable. It shouldn't be for most decks, but it maybe is in this deck if we don't think we can flip it. Foragers, though I think it offers us some, is definitely the worst 4-drop here, I think. Party Captain, I agree, is not exceptional in this deck, but I mean, it's still, like, I think 4-mana 2/2 draw card's pretty good for a grindy deck. I think these are the 3 weaker cards. I don't think I want to cut the farmhand, especially given if I'm going to go with 16 and not 17, based on farmhand getting a land. Based on that logic, I can't cut it. Then I'd have to just put in another land. And if I am going to go with 16, I probably want the 3rd cheap removal. So yeah, I think we'll cut the Foragers. I think that makes the most sense. 12/4, no, that's a little extreme. I think a 9/7, given we have some red like rummage and card drawing, and not an 8/8 maybe. But 12/4 is no. But yeah. So this is something that I don't know the math, but I can tell you that virtually every pro I've ever known, including myself, when Magic Online or Arena suggests like 13/5, you probably want to change it to like 10/7. Like, the reason for that is there's way more value in the first land you draw of like a color than the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th being on ratio, and it's not even like, like 90% of the value or 95% of the value or something. Like you can create value by drawing like 3 red instead of 1 and getting to double spell on turn 5 when you wouldn't have otherwise if you only had 1 mountain instead of 2 or 3. But like being able to cast like 1 spell of each color per turn is generally good enough to empty out all your resources pretty consistently and quickly. And even if you have like 1 double red card or 1 double white card, if you can play all the rest of the cards, that gives you the time to draw a mountain or a plains to play that card too. So like the reason that you almost always want like 8/8, 9/7, 9/8 is because there's so much more value in that first land of each color than in like whether you draw good ratios of the lands compared to the amount of cards in those colors you have. Sorry, mini rant over. All right, so let me export this, but this will be a 9/7 because we do have way, way, way more red than white and some red rummage and stuff like that. So we'll go 9/7, not 8/8, not 12/4. And then Arena up. Yeah, that would make sense, Chronomancer, given it's so grindy. But I mean, decayed creatures die after they attack once, right? So as long as I can keep my life total really high, if they can deal me 10 with their decayed creatures, I don't have to kill them. I can just take the hits. So we'll see. I got to try and keep my life total really high against decay decks, so I never have to deal with the 2/2s, right? Thanks, Techless. Last week, I would have played the Sweatsuit. I wasn't, like, avoiding it or something. I actually was sick. I had a small fever and just kind of felt, like, weak. And I mean, y'all know what a standard virus feels like. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing special. I mean, if it was COVID, I'm vaccinated and it didn't even show up on the home test, so it probably wasn't. But what I had just felt like a bad cold or mild flu, when you get those in your 30s, like what it feels like. I do feel better, thank you. I started to feel better over the weekend and pretty much felt better, like as of like Monday or Tuesday. Oh yeah, it's a new set. Let's craft all the cards. Oops. Hopefully I didn't just change anything. I don't think I did. Just change the layout, right? The dragon, the sweeper that we built our whole deck around. Did I get 2 elementalists or 1? I had 2, right? I had 5 4-drops. I obviously didn't add a card and cut a card in one click. Just marveling at how good my deck is. All right, we do want to have a land or 2 in the sideboard. Oh, it already gives us that. Okay, cool. I actually don't even know if my deck's good. Have you all been watching drafts all day? Do you think this is a good deck? I mean, what have people been drafting? Probably not red-white control, but, you know. My round 1 opponent looks to be Jason LTG. Thanks, Riley. Yeah, I knew I was a hairy guy, but I've been impressed with my beard. I did not expect it to come in this thick in only a couple of months. I don't even know if it's been 2 months yet. It's been somewhere around 2 months since I started growing it. All right, let's see. So limited tournament match, Jason LTG. Can't change the name right now, apparently. Act like we've been here before. Thanks for the subscriptions, Wild Shadow and Blink Twice. I appreciate the support. Oh, there's no separation, Jumi. My whole strategy from here forward is just to literally get the buzzer and do a number 3 over my beard and head hair, so they're the same length. So the head hair and the beard will be forever linked until I change it again. All right, so we're gonna draw first. We're that all one mana removal control deck. Not the best hand, but I still think we're probably gonna keep. Plains we can cast Candle Trap. Otherwise, we're just drawing like Immolations, and I mean most of our cards are red, so it's pretty hard for this hand to work out as badly as it looks from when you look at the opening 7. Because what are we going to draw? If we draw Plains, we can then cast Candle Trap and our white cards. If not, we're drawing red cards, right? The bad draws for us are mountains and white cards, and we don't have that many of those left in our deck. That said, I'll probably draw mountain, white card, mountain, white card, mountain, white card, and lose the game. But, you know. We have like something like 5 or 6 red 2-mana cards, 3 red 1-mana cards, and 7 Plains. So you're talking about like 15 of our 33 cards that are just outright good draws every turn. Anyway, so thank you again, Wild Shadow. This beard is real, not a Wild Shadow, so thank you for subscribing in support. And you know you're always appreciated. Blink Twice. And thanks to everybody else as well who does still tune in and subscribes. It is very much appreciated. Thank you, Collected Company. I hope you hit 2 great creatures and, you know, never miss. No one wants to see you whiff, not as long as you're subscribing to such great channels as mine. So thank you. Your support is appreciated as well, and good luck on those top 6 cards. All right, so it's daytime now, so if 2 spells get... No, sorry, if we pass the turn, then we get to flip it. And then... Or sorry, not flip it. We get to double rummage, which is pretty good. We can discard a mountain, find plains. I mean, we're starting to fall pretty far behind. I guess for now, just block a 1/1, assuming this doesn't, like, kill our creature or something. I don't want to give an opinion on Night and Day until at least next week, because it's such a weird new ability, you know what I mean? Like, I want to get a good feel for it. So, stop that thing from attacking. I don't think there's any real choices. So they still get the 1/1. That's not great. 1, 2, 4. Okay. So how many 1/1s does this make? Is it just 1/1 a turn? Whenever you attack for each opponent, create a 1/1 white. Okay, so for each opponent, and I'm their only opponent. That's commander wording, which is fine. Just trying to understand what it does. So they're going to get 1/1 every turn, basically. Okay, so this is good. We're getting to do the rummage because they didn't have anything to play. Do I need to play 2 things this turn? No. If they don't have anything, I don't technically need to play 2 things, just 1. I have Candle Trap to put on their 3/5. So I want to try and give myself a chance to be able to play 2 things. I can discard, like, a mountain. I'm going to for sure discard 1 mountain. And then the question is, do I discard another mountain or the weaker of the 2 5-drops? I can discard both mountains because I'm really hoping to double spell. And so I want to play Candle Trap, and then that gives me the most cards to find something else to play. So I think I'll just discard both mountains. Okay, and that worked out. Now we can do a bunch of stuff. We can triple spell. So I think we just want to stop their only good attacker and just put out our creatures, right? I don't even think I care. I think I'm going to use this on just a 1/1 just to make sure I don't die. I'm up a lot of cards now. Can't attack because their creature can still block, so that wouldn't really be productive. Put the Swimmable counter anywhere. I guess we'll spread it around. I didn't even realize it was that. I thought Cavalier got the counter. I don't want to discard either of my decent 5-mana cards now, though. Now we're good. What is this last card? Hopefully it doesn't beat us. Enters the battlefield, note your life total. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if your life total is greater than or equal to the last noted life total. So if I don't deal them any damage, they get to draw a card. And then whenever you cast a white spell, you gain life. Oh, if you don't deal them a damage every turn, they get to draw a card because you do this every upkeep. Okay, so we need to prioritize dealing them damage now, which is not going to be easy at the moment. Oh, I can hit them with this because I can just hit the tapper and they take 2, so then they won't draw a card this turn. And then I can try and start hitting them in the air or something like that. So that looks good. I can do it on their turn or mine. So if I play no spells, it becomes nighttime. That's good, right? So I think we should pass the turn. And then at the beginning of their upkeep, if this triggers, and then I make them lose life, do they still get the card? Well, these trigger during my end step anyway. No, these trigger on the next upkeep. Does anybody know? If I pass the turn, and then on their upkeep with this Splendor ability on the stack, I make them take 2, so it's at 18 when the Splendor resolves. Do they get the card? If I respond to the trigger and their life total goes under, it checks on resolution, and they don't get the card, right? They can tap again on their upkeep. I don't need to block, so I'm not worried about that. It's more I want my stuff to flip, but not at the cost of them getting a card. Okay, I'm going to assume they don't get the card. At least, if nothing else, we'll get to learn this way. So I'm going to put a stop on their upkeep. I don't think they're going to get the card, but I'm not 100%. Oh yeah, I can't attack. Their creatures can still block. But I'm not 100%, so we'll find out. Okay, so this time I'll put it on this one, I guess. I don't know. I don't think this matters much. And then, of course, I'm going to discard the mountain, but not the Purifying Dragon. Thank you, Sisyphus. Appreciate the subscription. Thank you, Silex. Appreciate the subscription. Totally understand those of you who did subscribe back when I was streaming all the time and aren't now, but still are tuning in. Tons of great streamers to support. But for those who do choose to subscribe, thank you. I do appreciate that as well, and it's a huge compliment. All right, so let's see. So we're going to discard mountain, of course, and not the dragon. And let's see if they get the card. They did not. Everything worked according to plan. Good job, Twitch chat. You were correct. Okay, so we really want to deal them damage, or they get to draw 2 cards. I'm not sure if it's possible. I can Coven and get rid of... Oh, I can get rid of one with Coven and then attack with both, and then they won't draw cards. So let's do that, right? If I play the farmhand, I can then... activate this Candle Trap. Now I have 1, 3, and 4. So now I can exile their creature. And then I can get in one of the 2 creatures. Their creature doesn't deal damage, so it doesn't matter if it blocks. I don't think it's over 20. It's you note your life each turn, right? Oh, did they get messed up because of the trigger on the stack thing, like when they took the damage last turn? Because it does re-note the new life total every single turn, right? Yeah, you have to deal them damage every turn or they draw cards. It checks the new life total every turn, I'm pretty sure. At the beginning of your upkeep, when it enters the battlefield, note your life total, then note your life total. Yeah, it does, for sure. Read the whole trigger. Read Sigarda's Splendor, y'all who are arguing. Read the whole card. Read the end of the second paragraph. It checks every turn. I'm not 100% sure on what exactly it was checked at that last turn, because, like, with the trigger on the stack, I dealt them damage. But for sure, this card is not whatever it starts at. It resets every single turn. Then note your life total is this. If you see on the screen when I hover over it, then note your life total is the last sentence of the second paragraph. Okay, so anyways, let's see what we're doing here. I can Coven away that and just attack if I want. What does this Lantern do? They can exile it from the graveyard and a mana. Okay, we don't care about that. So presumably they don't have anything. So I can exile their creature, but then I can play the Elementalist and not the dragon. Or I can, like, not exile their creature, attack, and play the dragon. Probably rather just have the dragon out, right? So I'm just going to attack. Their creature doesn't deal damage when it's candle trapped. So I can let it block. The reason I had to do what I had to do last time, last turn, was so that I could get in one of the 2 creatures so they didn't draw cards off these Splendors. But if you have 2 creatures and they have one that's candle trapped, you can always attack into it. It doesn't deal damage. So they have lots of nice enchantments. I don't know how, good or bad these Splendors are, but I mean, they're certainly worth killing some of the time, I think. And this card is really powerful. Adeline, Resplendent Cathar. I mean, I have no opinion on these Splendors yet. It's going to be somewhat format dependent, what white does and what you draft around it. It does seem like a powerful card, but I don't know how hard it is to get those extra cards out of it. Adeline seems really excellent, though. Yeah, it is somewhat tiling, Herbob. I do really love streaming for the exact reason you're saying. I get to share all my thoughts, and sharing all my thoughts is, like, an exertion. Don't take that to, like, I really, really love it. I think it's, like, super enjoyable. It's like, when you're working out, you release endorphins and it feels good, but then afterwards you feel like, tired and worn out from working out. That's how I would describe it. Okay, so let's see. What are we going to pump? We can ping this veteran, but that's not even that exciting. I mean, he's probably right, but it's not very exciting. I'm not really that scared if they'll make a 4/4 on their turn. You can't disturb, obviously, like, that's sorcery speed, right? Like, they can only make the 4/4 flyer on their next turn, not right now. Why does it matter which one we pump? We mostly just want to spread it out. I mean, I guess the dragon is flying and they can't block a flyer. I don't know. I'm going to pump the smallest creature, but I don't know if that was right or not by any stretch. Obviously, I don't want to discard that. Well, thank you for the compliment, Herbob. Appreciate it. That is definitely what I go for. I've always said there's tons of great content creators, so I would rather do quality than quantity. It's just, my perspective. Let's see. Okay, so we can Coven and then attack. And that's not a knock on anybody because, this isn't my primary source of income or whatever. Some people, even if they would prefer to do it that way, don't even have the option. So, but thank you for the compliment. Okay, so let's ping off the 1/1. Is there, like, a white Wrath I should be playing around? Because, I mean, I don't really need to dump more stuff out at this point. I'm going to assume not. There's no, like, white-green haste creatures or anything where I would need a blocker, is there? Yeah, well, a Wrath is a reason to not play a creature. And then there's no, like, white or green haste creatures, are there? Like, is there some 2/2 or 3/3 haste they can play that can kill me if I don't play a blocker? Probably should have thought about that before I attacked, but... Well, they don't have any cards in hand, so they can't play a 3-1 flash, but that is good to think about in general. Oh, yeah, I should have flipped the farmhand, obviously. I just missed that. Well, it's too late to gain the life with the farmhand now, but yes, I should have done that, of course. Well, that's an instant, so I won't discard that. But just in case it gives us, like, something to deal with a haste creature. I guess it would have to be a 4 toughness haste creature, which is pretty unlikely. We do have the Cathartic Pyre. Alright, so let's see. What did they play? Plenty of small creatures, I think, that can die to our +2/-2s. These Splendors. I don't really see much that changes too much out of them. I mean, I don't know. Do we want enchantment kill for these Splendors? That's all we saw, right? For enchantments, just the 2 Splendors. Assuming they don't play the White Wrath and we win this game. I mean, obviously we're going to board the same whether we win or lose. I'm just thinking about sideboarding now because I assume they're dead. Sorry about the mic. Yeah, I connected on Discord. Is it just did a thing once, rice as a side dish, or if you want to play in the sweatsuit, I don't know how the order of applicants is chosen or anything like that, but I would get in contact with Sped1 if you DM them or something. I think it's Hunter Pence and Sped1 run it, and Sped does most of the logistics. I would get in contact with them. Okay, so for sideboarding, destroy an artifact. We didn't really see any. I don't really see any reason to change anything. Not that we have many sideboard cards, but I guess we might want some cheap aggressive stuff against those Splendors. Maybe I should board out like an Immolating Fire or whatever it's called, Immolating whatever, and board in like that 1/1 first strike. That thing's pretty hard to block. So it's a good way to ping the opponent for 1 or 3 to keep them drawing extra cards. If we go to game 3, I might board in like 1 or 2 of the like cheap drops like that and board out like some of the +2/-2s. Even though I think the +2/-2s probably have enough targets from what we saw and what colors the opponent's playing. Red and white tend to have pretty small creatures. It could be that we just need to be able to deal them a point of damage to keep them from drawing cards off those enchantments. Thanks, keep off my lawn. I will try and look into that after this stream. How to prevent applications from taking exclusive control. Exclusive control, EC. Okay. Alright, cool. This is clearly a keep. Even though we only have 2 lands, we can pyre if we need to. If we draw 1 plains, then we have enough mana to cast everything. Good stuff. I definitely don't care if they gain 1 or 2 life right now. I'm not saying I don't want to kill that. Like they have those enchantments and stuff, but no rush on killing it. So we'll play the farmhand, make sure we can hit our land drops. Yeah, Jack-o'-lantern does not seem like a card you should really be maining, but the thing is it draws a card for 1 mana, and then it's a fixer, actually. So, actually, I think Jack-o'-lantern is a card you play as a free fixer. Like, if you have a light splash, this is 1 mana draw card for, like, a minorly positive effect. The graveyard is definitely a resource in this format. That's not worth playing the card, of course. But then, if it's a free source for a splash, that's a pretty good reason to stick, like, a cycling card in your deck. So I think I would generally play it if I were cycling, would be my my baseline. Like, I mean, if I was splashing, sorry. Yeah, it's basically a golden egg. Because, like, the graveyard upside thing is enough that, like, you can justify it if you want the main way it provides value, which is fixing. Okay, so anyways, do we want to block? We have the ability to go into 3/3, but it's hard. Theirs comes back as what? A 1/1 flyer, which, like, whatever. They might gain a life when a creature leaves play. I don't think we really want this trade. I mean, it keeps them off maybe gaining a few points of life, but Doesn't really matter what their life total is. What matters is that I can deal them a point of damage when I want to, right? Like, I don't really care if they're at 23 or 17. What I care about is that when I need to deal them 1 so they don't draw a card, I can do that. So this is the only card we can play right now. I mean, we can definitely discard a land or like an immolation if we want to. This card's an instant, right? Yeah, so for now, let's just hit for 1. I'm not going to immolation away the Lunarch Veteran here. We'll just end of their turn, Revelation, discard immolation, and then we'll see what our hand looks like after that. Thanks, Beezer Boy. Yeah, I've been pretty happy with the beard. I appreciate all the compliments on it. It is the first time I've ever really grown a beard. Like, by really, I mean over a week, like without a shave, since I was like, ever. I mean, since I needed to start shaving. Which, y'all know if you watch me regularly, I make fun of how old I am quite a bit. Approaching 40 very rapidly, way too rapidly. So that doesn't change anything. I'm going to discard the weakest card in my hand. I can't discard the only land, even though we're drawing a lot of cards. I've got some good 4-drops to start playing. Can always flash this back later and discard a land if I end up a little flooded. For now, I don't really see any decisions. Sounds good to me, Dangle. Maybe tomorrow night after the pre-release or something. Thanks, Sleepyhead. Alright, what do we got going on? So they gave +1/+1 in Vigilance twice to the same creature. Homestead Courage. So now they have a 3/3. That's worth killing now that it's a 3/3. This doesn't exile, does it? No. Candle Trap does. I mean, we're only 1 creature away. I think what I want to do is just play the other Ruffian. Because like I said, when I go through the trouble of flipping them, I kind of want to be able to flip both. I don't really see much value in killing a 1/1 veteran. I don't really care that they're gaining life when a creature comes into play. I would kill the 3/3, but if I Candle Trap it, they're still gaining the life, and I'm not worried about it attacking me. So I think for right now, I'm just going to play the other Ruffian, and then we can plan to pass the turn to flip them, and then on the opponent's turn, we can Revelation. One thing I want to point out at the start of this format, when you're in a werewolf format, instants go up in value, because you can choose to pass, flip your stuff, and then still use your mana on the opponent's turn. So there are some formats where like 4 mana destroy a creature sorcery and 4 mana destroy a creature instant are not worth that much of a difference. Like obviously instant's always better, but it's not a big difference. In Werewolf, it is a big difference. So value instants substantially higher compared to sorceries. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to flip our cards. So I think we're just going to pass. Nothing that exciting to play anyway. I can play 1 land. I mean, I still have 1 to discard, but yeah. I think it's chill time. Get our 6/5s. See if the opponent can flip them back. If not, then the beatdown will commence. Glad to be here, Sendian. You're welcome, my lavish. Ooh, that's a good question I didn't even think about. Could I have resolved one of the 2 triggers, paid 3, and used the Covenant to flip the farmhand, and then resolved the other trigger if I went into full control? That's a really good question. I don't know. Probably. I guess they resolve 1 at a time. I think. I don't know. Yeah, that's a super good question. I really genuinely don't know the answer. So we could Sacred Fire. We could always do it anyway, so no reason to respond. Yeah, week 1 NFL was fun. And the Dolphins got an awesome win, so that was cool. All right, let's see. We don't have to respond to this, right? It doesn't do anything when it comes into play. I guess they gain life, but again, I don't really care about that unless it's triggering other things. I'm not an aggro deck. I'm looking to attack with 6/5s, win with card advantage. I'm not like... You never want to give the opponent free life, but I'm not too concerned if they gain 1 or 2. All right, so my priorities, I can play 1 spell, but not 2, because I don't want to flip my 2 6/5s right now. And if it still works like that. If a player casts at least 2 spells during their own turn. Oh, so I can cast as many spells as I want on my opponent's turn now. Okay. It used to be on any turn. Now it's only on your own. So I can play 2 spells. Right. So anyways, what do we want to play? We have Sacred Fire, Electric Revelation, and Cathartic Pyre as options. I want to kill this 5/4 and this 4/4. I don't really care about the other 3 creatures. So I guess we can just play Revelation and see what we get, because can't really kill the creatures I want to kill with Sacred Fire or Cathartic Pyre. Oh yeah, they played 2, so it flipped back anyway. Right. So now we don't want to play anything if possible to flip them again. Hey, we got a raid of 11 raiders from Gomlet X. Appreciate the support, Gomlet. Hope you had a good stream. Right. They played 2 things. But now, so I do want to deal with the 4/4 flyer, so and the 5/4. Although I guess if I flip my 6/5s, then I have pretty good blockers for those again. So maybe I just chill. I have a lot of instants in my hand, right? Sacred Fire plus Flashback, Cathartic Pyre. Well, let's see. I'm going to go into full control, or put a stop anyway. I don't think... People seem pretty sure, yeah, that didn't stack, and they were right. You see, that didn't go on the stack. It just immediately turned to Tavern Smashers, and I had no ability to respond. So Werewolf flipping does not go on the stack. We can confirm. Okay, I guess the mic's going nuts. I'm going to get out of the Discord. Hold on. Should be fine now. Okay, so let's see. Combat, whatever. I went out of the Discord, so it shouldn't pop. It shouldn't pop again. It only pops when I'm in like the Discord voice. At least, to my recollection so far. Okay, so 4/4 flyer. I can definitely take a hit for 4. 2 and 6, so I'm 1 mana short of that with Flashback. I don't really want to Pyre and Sacred Fire it. I mean, I can. I have plenty of removal. I could also just Candle Trap it. Probably just take the 1 hit for 4. The only reason I didn't Candle Trap last turn was because I wanted to flip my Werewolves, so they could attack. But I don't think I need to use 2 removal spells on a 4/4 when I'm at 18. I might kill 2 things in a turn and then prepare to start attacking with these 6/5s. Okay, this opponent is like the champion of double spelling. I guess I will just hit that for 3 in response. I'm killing a 3/4 with a deal 3, I guess. It doesn't seem great. Doesn't seem horrible. So I don't want to keep taking hits from that flyer. I'll try and flip them again later. For now, I'm just going to play a bunch of stuff. I also, when I am flipping, want to flip the Astronomer so I can rummage away lands. So I think that was the opportunity to just dump a bunch of stuff, and then we'll get back to trying to flip again next turn. If we just go to Night, we'll be able to flip the farmhand, because we'll have these Ruffians will go to 6, but we'll still have 2 power creatures. So when we flip again, we'll be good. What is this? Flying Lifelink. When a non-token creature you control dies, return it to its owner's hand. Jeez. And then if a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it. Okay. So if I double block and kill their creature, it goes back to their hand. And this one draws a card, so we don't really want to kill either of those here. This rare is nice. So let's assume for the moment something we don't want to lose over there on a free block. And then I could just send both to their hand and try and get aggressive. No, they're just going to flip the 6/5s back down because they're going to be able to double spell with all those cards in their hand. I don't think I want to do that. I mean, this doesn't do anything when it comes into play. It's just killing it isn't really very productive. I think I'll just chump it with a 2-mana 2/2. This is kind of rough. I need to be able to kill Liessa here. For now, definitely just going to pass the turn, mostly so this Astronomer can flip as much as the Ruffians, just so I can rummage away these mountains and look for answers. Because right now, I can't actually profitably block and trade with their creatures. Yeah, Liessa looks very, very strong. But we're flipping, which means not only do we get these bigger creatures, but we get to rummage away these 2 mountains. Remember how I said these Astronomers are going to be good for us because we're drafting a control deck? Alright, so if I deal 5 to everything at once, whenever another non-token creature control dies, return it to its owner's hand. So they will get it back still, right? So I have to kill Liessa, and then I can burn down the house, potentially. If I burn down the house right now, they get all their stuff back, right? What is this hostile? Sacrifice creature, put a soul counter on it. Then if there are 3 or more soul counters, remove those, transform it. This thing's got to be powerful. Sacking 3 creatures is not an easy thing to do one turn after another. When it attacks, you may exile a creature from your graveyard. If you do, each opponent loses X life, and you gain, where X is the number of creature cards exiled with it. Yeah, and phases out. That's a hard card to beat. Yeah, they've got some rares, we'll say that much. Not really sure how we're going to win this one. I'm not saying we can't, but it's definitely not looking good. So I need to first kill Liessa, then burn down the house. I mean, I'm only 1 damage short of killing Liessa. I definitely have more burn and removal and candle traps and whatever. I think at this point, I don't want to take another hit, and I'm preparing to play Sweeper anyway, so I don't really care. The aggro Tavern Smasher plan is pretty much over. What I'm trying to do is actually deck the opponent or something. So what I'm going to do at this point, can it kill both? 8, yes it can. Oh, I forgot the 1/1. So I can't double block for the free 3 life. Oh wait, I can just block the 1/1 for the 3 free life, duh. But so at this point, I'm willing to trade Tavern Smasher here, even though I know that they're just going to replay it again. That's not really, it doesn't matter. I'm no longer interested in the War of Attrition. My plan to try and win the game now, which I'm not saying is going to work, is to kill Liessa, sweep the board, and then potentially like deck them, run them out of threats. Because they're at 40, but like, maybe it's possible. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm just saying after I kill Liessa, they're not getting any damage on the ground at the moment. Okay, so nothing to do on a turn. So what do we want to rummage away? I don't want to throw away too many resources, but I am taking 4 a turn from Liessa when I don't rummage. So I can throw away Astronomer. I don't think I need a second Astronomer, and it's just a 2/2. I don't want to throw away too much more than that. Okay, so now I can kill Liessa with Pyre and Immolation. So I might as well just do that on their turn. Well, I can't play Immolation on their turn, though. So I need to Immolation it now. Maybe I just do both now. There's no reason to take risks, right? They don't have any ways out to get Liessa back if it dies. Nothing weird. They might make an attack, though. They're going to know I have something if I pass with all this mana up. There's no way they just send the 2/2/2 to just die, right? So I think like I'm just going to play it safe and kill Liessa now. I'm not going to play the Sweeper now, because they don't actually even have that great of an attack on board. I'll wait for them to put more out. I think they're still decking before me. They've drawn extra cards. Yeah, they have 11 and I have 14. The land might kill me post-Sweeper. If they make the land and then I do the deal 5 +2 to finish off the land, that could be good. But they could also just give it hexproof for 4. This thing is really, really powerful. Sweatsuit's going okay. So I won game 1. This game is not going to be easy. I don't necessarily think it's unwinnable. They're at 11 cards in their deck, but it's not going to be easy. We'll say that much. Okay, so I can put out the 4/3 flyer to block their 4/4 flyer and prolong the stalemate. I can play the sweeper. I don't really feel like I need to do that yet. They have to commit more. I am concerned about the hostile, yeah. But there's no way I can stop that. At some point, they'll just play a creature and sack it. There's no way for me to keep them off hostile. Oh, that's a good question. If it phases, does it come back as a land? I have no idea. Yeah, I think I'm going to play nothing, and then I'm just going to double Sacred Fire the Generous Soul. Because I want them to commit considerably more, and I don't know what Sacred Fire is going to really do that's special. I want my 4 life. I want to make them feel like they need to commit more. I'm probably going to end up losing to the hostile, even if I can like somehow stabilize like along that plan. But we'll see. On the bright side, if they attack and they get a 1/1 that has to attack now, I get to gain 3 life by blocking with the Season Cathar. And it still might seem worth it to them because the Generous Soul is a 4/4 flyer. So there's some... That's at least something. Because I'm going to like double Sacred Fire the Generous Soul. Maybe I won't even kill the Generous Soul then. It's literally dealing me 1 because the 3/3 lifelink's going to eat a 1/1. So I guess I can save the removal maybe even. Well, that's good. They milled a card and rummaged a card. So now they're at 8 in their library. I like that, at least. I don't think I want to get rid of any of these. I basically am only rummaging away lands now. Yeah, timer could be relevant for game 3. Obviously, I'm not going to run out of time this game. But if we go to game 3, anything's possible. So what is this thing? 3/7. When it attacks, you can exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, I take like the amount of damage for the amount of times you've done that. And then you can phase it out so it doesn't die. Phase out means it comes back in next turn. Magic is so fancy. Remember, I'm not saying we're going to win this game. It's not going well, but we do have a sweeper. It's not over. I'm trying to sneak in a deck. I think they have 7 cards left. And if they use that mirror, it could even keep going down or something. So I'm trying. The goal here is to sneak in decking them. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. So this is fine. I've got something on the 8/4, right? Okay. So can I respond to that by dealing it 7? No, so that's going to phase out. No way around that. Now, do I want to deal 4 to the Generous Soul? They're going to get it back in their hand into turn. I could Sacred Fire the Ardeline. I could just see what they do first. I might as well just take this damage, I think. Now, end of turn, if I'm going to use the sweeper, I don't play anything, obviously. If I'm not going to use the sweeper, then I... oh, yeah, Elias is gone. Then we can get it back. Sorry. If I'm not going to play the sweeper, then I want to kill the 6/2 by dealing it 2. I don't think I'm getting more than this on the sweeper, right? It's just time to play it. So even though they're going to know we have it, there's nothing punishing me for attacking, right? I don't care about them dealing them damage. I just want the 3 life. So we'll just send this. I can send the 6/5, but I'm just being cute. They have 49 life. They're not going to die. I mean, I might win because I might deck them. I'm not saying I'm going to succeed, but they have 7 cards left in their library, so I might deck them. But what's not going to happen is I'm not going to deal them 49. So what do they have left? This can make 2/1/1 humans, okay. 1/1 flyer, okay. Yeah, it's basically just this creeping in that's the giant problem. As of next turn, I'm not going to have to take a hit for 3, and it's going to kill me much quicker. So I think I actually do want to chump block just to avoid the 3 damage here. Okay, I don't really see too much in the way of decisions. I guess, yeah, I'm going to probably have to Sacred Fire. So I can't do anything about that. Yeah, I need to play quicker because I'm probably going to lose, though not definitely. So I can't really concede, and then game 3 could come down to time. I'll try and play fast from the start of game 3. Well, 54 life, but we could definitely win. I'm not saying we're going to, but they have 4 cards left in their deck. If they had basically not had Hostile thing and had any other card, I think we would have probably won this game. But I will say my deck doesn't do anything fast, and this is game 2 when we won game 1, so we definitely want to have time for game 3. Because I am probably going to end up losing to this creeping in. Alright, we're dead. So, the control plan is good except for creeping in. That's a rough one. So what can we do? I mean, don't get me wrong, they might not draw it, they might not be able to flip it, like, you know, I might kill their creatures. But is there any clean answers to that? Anything we want to do about that? I don't really think so. Cheers to a new format indeed, Grogoth. Destroy an artifact. None of this really interacts that positively against it. They might even have boarded out those enchantments that they played game 1. I don't think there's much to change. I mean, that was a weird game. I have lots of shocks and immolations. I can just kill those life gainers if the game's going to go that way. I let it get out of control because I didn't think it was going to be an issue, but hopefully they won't get that thing flipped and beat me with it again. They can still phase it out. I mean, that thing is really hard to deal with. All right, we're definitely going to draw. I'm going to explain a little less this game. 5 minutes isn't bad, but obviously I can't go in depth on the concepts that drive the plays instead of just the plays when we have 5 minutes and we want to finish. So we have a pretty aggressive hand, so that's good. 3-drop haste creature into 4-drop into 5-drop. So we should be able to end this game pretty quickly, depending on what they drew, but end of turn, play the instant removal, kill their creature, 3/3 haste. This is a pretty aggressive hand, to say the least. Hey, what's up, Ryan? I'm loving the beard. I don't think I'm going back anytime soon. Are you a member of the club? Yeah, I'm not sure if it's better or worse than the Hotel California blanket moop. It didn't treat me so well last game. All right. This thing isn't legendary. I know it's better than 1/3/3 haste, too. I mean, honestly, I think it looks fine. I didn't do it for aesthetics. I just figured the most efficient way to maintain my facial hair and hair on my head, if I grew my beard and like head to the same length, I could then just grab like a electric buzzer and just like do like a number 3 or 4 like once a month on both the beard and the hair at the same time. So that was like the motivation for growing the beard. Strictly efficiency, to be honest. Hate razor blades. No need for visiting the barber. All right, so let's just kill that. Keep the beat down going. I'm 2 for 1ing myself, but I'm hitting them for 7, so I'm cool with that. Also, we get more counters because we double spelled. Very true. This was a draw, huh? After 2 pretty good, long, grindy epic games, this was just like the aggro draw of all aggro draws. Like, I'm not saying we're 100% going to win. They can probably play 2 blockers, but they're probably like trading and chumping or double chumping or something at best. So this is what, a 4/5? So that's pretty good. It stops me from attacking with the 4/4 potentially. So now I have to decide between take the turn off and play the dragon or play the revelation looking for things. Because if I send the 5/5, they can just double block. What did they? Oh, trample. Duh. That's why they conceded. These things have trample in addition to haste. They're not just bugbears. I forgot about trample. When I was reasoning whether I had an attack at all, it was as though the 5/5 and the 4/4 did not have trample. To be fair, I mean to be clear, I just completely forgot they had trample. So like, if they don't have trample, then you can take the thought process I started with before the opponent conceded. If they do have trample, which they do, ignore that thought process because that was like, you would just attack with both and then they're dead because they have to block 1 with the 1/1. Like, they're at 4, so they're not literally dead or whatever, but they have to put like the 4/5 on the 5/5 and not the 4/4. They needed a double chump to not be dead, so it's an auto attack. But if the creature didn't have trample, if I attack with both, what happens is they go 4/5 on 4/4, 1/1 on 5/5, and then I trade a 5/5 for a 1/1, and that's horrible. If I send just the 5/5, then they can double. I trade the 5/5 for the 4/5. That's not great, but maybe it helps clear the way for an attack next turn. So that's where I was at in my thought process. If you recognize they have trample, then you just attack both. They double chump and finish at 1 life, and obviously the game's over. Thanks for the 100 bits. Really appreciate it, Janice. Yeah, that gold card's ridiculous, Ryan. I don't know what the whole cycle's like or anything, but 3 mana, 3/3, haste, trample, and it grows. Like, and it's not even that hard to have it grow. Like, you just pass a turn and it grows. It doesn't even grow. It pumps any creature you have. I didn't even know that until I played with it in like game 1 of this like draft. Like during the draft portion, I thought it would get the +1/+1 counter. So let's see. Who do we got in round 2? We got FTK 75. Hopefully they don't have any FTKs. That was quite a card. For those of you who are not ancient like me, feel free to Google Flame Tongue Kabu. What is a Discord draft? Easy Mac and Steve. This is a boomer stream, an MTG boomer anyway. I don't love this hand, but again, like, we can stop their first 2 creatures. We're a pure control deck. We don't care how much damage we deal to the opponents in the early turns. Like, it's always good if it's free, but it's not a concern of ours. So on the draw, I don't think hands like this are even... You don't even think about mulliganing it. Like, we have our 9 mountains, but we don't need them right away. We just need them, like, you know, by the time they play a 3rd creature, because we have double Candle Trap. Okay, assume we just kill that as efficiently as possible. We're obviously not going to do better with Sacred Fire, so this is an opportunity to use your instant as a sorcery. Just kill their 2/2 with some upside while they're tapped. What does this do? 3 damage to a creature. If it's a werewolf, destroy it. Okay, sure thing. Well, we don't even have anything to cast, but we do have to think if we want to play Electric Revelation, what we want to discard. I'll probably discard the land, given I can just kill their next couple creatures and I'm in no rush. But I could also just not cast it, and then just, you know, play it after I draw 5 lands and cast the dragon. But it's probably worth spending the 3 mana, discarding the plains. If I draw all spells, I'll just kill their creatures. Baneblade Scoundrel, when it becomes blocked, each creature that blocks it gets -1/-1. Okay, but now we can Cathartic Pyre, and that uses 2 of our 3 mana. And we didn't really want to discard this land right now anyway, so I think that makes sense, since we're only stranding 1 mana. I wouldn't want to strand 3 mana, so if they did nothing, I would probably Revelation, discarding the land. Granted, now I'm going to end up Revelationing, discarding a land anyway, but that's because I didn't draw anything else to do. Okay, so let's see. Do we Candle Trap that first or play the dragon? It would have been really close, but now that we drew a 4-drop, it's probably not that close. Let's just go ahead and kill that. Double spell. Life is good. Flanking. Speaking of boomer abilities. Flying instant sorcery spells cost 1 less. Whenever you cast one, it gets +2/+2. So, okay, that's a cool card. I'm not super scared or anything. But 4 is a decent amount of toughness. So I think I'm going to Candle Trap that and just play my other dragon. I mean, play my dragon and my other Candle Trap. I only have 1 dragon, but I have 2 Candle Traps. And now we're in that comfortable spot where if we draw land, we can discard it and draw 2 cards. If they play little creatures, we can kill them. If they play big creatures, that could still be a problem. I don't think they'll ever bring back banding. It's too complicated. But if they like the way the -1/-1 ability plays, they certainly could bring back flanking. It's really not that complicated of an ability. I'm not going to lie to you, I kind of forgot they had that bolt out. It doesn't mean I shouldn't have played the dragon. I didn't really have any other productive ways to use my mana. I'm just not going to lie, I didn't even think about it. Okay, so their creatures don't deal damage, so they get free chump blockers, but I'll go ahead and get them off the board, because they're going to run out of chumps sooner or later, right? And I guess I Revelation now, because if I cast a spell, the Smasher will flip. So I might as well just wait and pass the turn. I can Revelation into their turn, and if they play a 2 toughness creature, I might rather Sacred Fire it. Because I'm not going to double spell. Like, if I play the Electric Revelation now and I draw some little, like, cheap drop, I'm not going to play it to turn this back into a 2/5. Okay, so now we'll Revelation end a turn, and now we obviously don't care if the Smasher turns back into its day version or whatever. Okay, so probably want the 3 Devils, given we already are pretty good on removal. I could just deal 5, killing the 4/3, or I could, like, Sacred Fire. I could Neonate's Rush and Immolation the 4/3. That looks pretty good. And, like, they might be holding removal. I think the 3 Devils could function as a pretty nice win condition here. So I think I'm just going to go with that. So this is deal 1 damage to creature, 1 damage to control, and draw a card. And then I'm planning to Immolation to finish it off. Hey, and that worked out okay. Now we can put the Cavalier out this turn. Oh, I guess it's not going to do anything. They can block. I tried. Okay, so we can't activate the Candlelight because we don't have 3 different creatures, but now our Cavalier grew to a 4/4 because it's an absolutely ridiculous Magic card, so we don't need to. Hopefully, as long as they don't draw Flame Tongue Cabu, we're looking all right. I'm just kidding. It's a close, grindy game. Obviously, we could lose, but we're winning with 1/4/4 as we speak, so I had to make a Flame Tongue Cabu reference. I would have been remiss if I didn't. Thank you for that subscription, Robot Kitty. Sorry, I think I missed it. I was super focused, but I definitely really appreciate the support. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Even the rest of you out there who didn't subscribe, I hope you're enjoying the stream as well. I'm only teasing. I consume tons and tons of content, and I support and subscribe and donate to a few of it, and not all of it by any stretch. Okay, let's see. I guess we can't really do anything. We could double spell for a +1/+1 counter. We're not really in a position to do that. Thank you for all 28 months of them, Janice. Maybe I should have made the Devils. That was kind of the plan, and then I just decided to hold it for no real reason. Well, for now, no real choices. Gonna get back the deal 3 and fire it off at the dragon and see what happens. Yeah, double spelling is good, because then it'll go back to being day, which means I'll get a +1/+1 out of the Cavalier. But I'm not like necessarily going to hold 3 1/1 Devils to get an extra +1/+1 counter. I don't think that's a good play. I honestly was just like talking to the chat and focused and just didn't even think about casting it again. But the fact that this Sunrise Cavalier goes wide is absolutely ridiculous too. Because like, let's say it sits around for a little while and then the opponent finds the answer. Since it's such a powerful card, unless the +1/+1 counters are going to give it a profitable attack or block that it wouldn't have otherwise, you're probably going to put them on your weaker creatures to kind of spread your resources around. So then when they draw removal, they're still going to kill the Cavalier because it's such a powerful card, but like your 2/1 is a 3/2 and your 2/2 is a 3/3. It's really just a ridiculous Magic card. But I'm just going to put my stuff out now and end this game, unless they have a sweeper, but I wasn't trying to be coy there, and I don't think they're holding a sweeper. All right, so what have they played? 4/3, 2/4, 4/3. So their creatures are pretty big. I mean, they have Flame Channeler, but I don't love all the +2/-2s. They've got their own removal. That's fine. So, but I've seen they have a lot of 3 and 4 toughness creatures. It looks like they're kind of a control-ish deck too, of course, and like. They've got like kill a creature with power 2 or less, deal 3, but then they also just have like 4. If you look at their creatures, it's like 4/3 flyer, 2/4, 6/5. They have a lot of creatures that don't die to +2/-2, which we have 3 of it in. So I probably want to take like one of those out. They can still be combined with things. It's not a huge deal, but I don't want to draw like 2 to 3 of those and have them be dead. Did they have any artifacts or just a bunch of mid-sized creatures here? 4/3, 2/4, 5/4, like all mid-sized stuff. And removal, 4/3. This one Flame Channeler is like the only target we saw. So they do have a lot of removal that kills small creatures. So any of our small creatures are super weak, we can take them out. Of course, none of them are. Our small creatures search for a land and then our 3 decent, like, flippy thingies. We're not an aggro deck, so we're not really playing many small creatures. So I think all we really want to do is cut like an Immolation and maybe bring in a card that'll be more useful, assuming we have one. Which we may not. I may just end up putting it right back in. I guess we could bring in a big creature. They might not be able to kill a 6/5. Or no, we'd probably rather just have something like this. Like a 4-mana 4/3. That could be a good grindy card in the mid-game. If we play long, grindy games against them, maybe it'll let us discard lands or something like that. Also, like, you know, we might be able to hit them pretty easily, and because they're, you know, we're not aggro, they'll just take one hit, they don't care, and then maybe we can get far enough ahead to ride that to victory or something, since neither deck is like pressuring the other very well. If that didn't make sense, I didn't articulate that exceptionally well. Basically, since we're not under pressure, we're going to be 1-for-1ing, and then we can probably just like get in a hit and then dump stuff and then maybe ride that tempo to victory. Not so much the aggression, but the like board advantage. Because we have a lot of ways to dig up more and more resources, and so do they potentially. We didn't see that much, but presumably if they're a 3-color control deck, they do. And like I expect that like we won't be under such pressure that we can't afford to like take the hit, kill the blocker, and then like net the 3 mana from the foragers. But when you're under a lot of pressure, like from an aggro deck, you can't expect to be able to make plays like that. The Tavern guy is a bit weak. Which one is the Tavern guy? The 4-mana 2/5? I think it's a bad aggro card, but if you're a control deck, it's excellent. Blocks well the turn you play it, and then it's a win con for 4 mana. 2 mana 1/1, can't be blocked. Whenever deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. Like, basically when you draft control decks, what you want, like, are cheap removal, and then, like, you don't want to have to play dedicated win conditions. Like, if you play a card like Millstone, let's say, like the extreme version of that, or Teferi's Tutelage, you took a mulligan to be able to win the game. But a 4-mana 2/5 blocks, like, about equivalent for its casting cost. It's going to block opposing 3 and 4 drops. But a 4-mana 2/5 is not an effective way to attack the opponent, but a 4-mana 6/5 is. So you basically have a good defensive card for 4 mana, and then it flips into a good way to close the game. So you're not playing a win con, you're playing like a good 4-mana card for a control deck. Now, if I'm an aggro deck, I don't want to have to take a turn off to flip my 2/5 that doesn't attack well until it's flipped into a 6/5 into one. That's not to say it's unplayable in every aggro deck, but it's way less exciting. All right, what does this thing do? Can't be blocked. When it deals damage, draw, and then discard. I don't want to let that happen, so I'm just going to kill it. I know, you know, this isn't nearly as mana efficient potentially as playing Foragers, but they'll probably play something that I can kill end of turn. If not, I don't even think I'm going to play the Revelation, because I just don't want to discard any of these cards. This isn't like a high-pressure game. If they play something I can kill, I'll kill it. If not, I'll untap and play the Foragers. What did I forget this time? I might have, but I don't know what. Could discard Sacred Fire. It's an option. What's the rush, though? I just don't even see it. I guess if I get land 5 this turn, I can, like, Candle Trap and Foragers, maybe. But again, this is just going to block the Foragers. I don't know. I don't think we're in a rush. I think I'm chilling. I don't really want to throw any resources in a grindy game where nobody's under pressure. Like, they're probably holding removal. Like, you know, like, we're just sitting around. Like, no real rush, you know? I mean, now there's a dragon out, so now I'm under a small amount of pressure. Not like a ton, but... hoping they'll kill the Foragers and play something, and then I can, like, burn down their house. You heard it here first. Ben Stark, Arsonist. Oh, yeah, the Silverbolt in play. Yeah, I didn't even think about whether I should have played it or not. I mean, I didn't really have other options, like Revelation, discarding nothing I wanted to discard or that, but maybe I'm not supposed to play it. When Sludge Monster enters the battlefield or attacks, put a slime counter on up to one other creature. Non-horror creatures with slime counters lose all abilities and become 2/2s. Cute. Okay, well, now I actually do want to burn down the house, so I think we want a Revelation. So what are we discarding? What are we doing? I mean, we're not, like, in terrible shape or something. I just, like, what is the plan from here? It's probably dig up land 5 and burn down the house. So I guess Sacred... I'm more likely to draw a mountain because I just have more of them. I guess I might be discarding Sacred Fire anyway. Whatever. This doesn't matter much. Okay, that's cool. So I can Candlelight on one of them, which I think I'm going to do because I don't want to give away that I have like a sweeper or something take hard hits. Presumably they'll play another creature. As long as it doesn't have 6 toughness, I won't regret playing the Candlelight. And then if not, what do we want to do? We can, now we're not under that much pressure. We can play our dragon. They'll probably just end up killing it, but it gives them another turn to put out another creature. We could Revelation, looking for stuff to do. I think I'd probably just run my dragon, because, like, trading it off with a removal lets me spend my mana profitably. And it gives me, it buys me time to let them play another creature to get more value out of Burn Down the House, which I'm going to end up playing on their dragon, probably, because of their dragon. I think you'd play any number of Moonrager Slashes. Why would you, I mean, realistically, you're not going to cut deal 3 from your deck in Limited. Okay, again, I can't keep taking hits from that, so sooner or later I am going to have to burn down the house. I'm going to try and wait the one more turn, I think. I'm greedy. News. It's not news. If it costs me the game, get rich or die trying. Other than that, can't really put out these little creatures. They're just not going to be effective. I wish they were. Because they have the 2 candle-lighted big creatures. Okay, well, I don't have a choice now, so I'm going to attack and then burn down the house. Maybe I should have burned down the house first. The 3/6 would live, then I could play the 3/3, then if they blocked it, it would die. It works out the same if they block with the 3/6. But no, it actually works out better if they block with the 3/6, because now I can, like, not play the haste creature and then play it with haste and attack effectively with haste next turn. So it actually works out better, but it works out slightly worse if they don't block with the 3/6, if they block with the 5/5. But whatever. All right, they've unlocked the black mana. I don't know what they got in that hand. We're at 4. We've got a deal 2, gain 2. Hopefully they don't have any nice, like, threats in their hand. I can certainly beat a handful of removal. Well, 3 to any target isn't 4. That's not that bad of a card for me right now. I mean, you know, it's a 2 for 1. It's a good card, but it's beatable. So we can flip this to a 3/3 by dealing 2. And then play this to have 2 3/3s, but we still don't have a block on the 4/3. But we have, as long as we have the 3/3 blocker up, they can deal 3 and hit us 4 because we'll be at 6. Now we can't have no blockers up because then they'd hit us for 4 and burn us for 3 and we'd be dead, obviously. So I think I want to do that. I guess I could just play the Ruffian instead of the Cavalier if I have... Do I have enough mana? 6, 4 is 10. No, I'm 1 mana short. Yeah, so this is just basically what we can do. Oh, the question is, do I attack, though? I guess I do, because I still have the Flame Channeler up to block. If they have 2 removal, I die then. But, I mean, they have 1 other card in hand. And I really don't want to block the Scoundrel anyway. Oh, wait, what am I saying? I have to double block it, right? I can't take it or then they burn me out. They're going to attack first. So this is rough. So what is it? Whenever it becomes blocked, each creature gets -1/-1. That's okay. I'm going to lose both, but, like, I would still kill their creature unless they use the removal. But I can potentially finish off the Scoundrel with the Sacred Fire. So I think I actually just want to pass the turn. I think I don't want to play it now. Because if they attack, I'm going to double block. And then if they pass, I pass, and everything dies. If they play their Moonrager Slash on one of my 2 creatures, then I can finish off the Scoundrel with Sacred Fire, which is considerably better than killing the Elementalist with Sacred Fire. So I think we found the right line. We're probably going to lose if this other card is anything, like, good. But we're okay against the board plus Moon Slashers, plus Moonrager Slash. Like, it's not over or whatever. Have a good one, Genesis. Thanks for hanging out. The day-night indicator is this thing all the way on the left. It's kind of behind the camera, which was not intentional. Let me see if I can adjust the webcam slightly. You see it right there under the webcam? My face was blocking it. Okay, so this transforms immediately, right? If whenever a spell you control deals damage, like the Sacred Fire. The problem is a 3/3 can't block this Baneblade Scoundrel. So I think what I'm doing is Sacred Firing the Elementalist and going to 6 and then just taking 4 and going to 2. That's the only way I don't throw away any resources. If they attack with both, I could like Sacred Fire them and then just block the Elementalist with the Flame Channeler. It's not much different. I just get in 2 damage, right? But this does transform immediately into a 3/3, right? Yes. So assuming they don't have anything, this is a free 2 damage. If they have like a counter or something, I'm happy with being dead. I don't care. But if not, this is the only way I don't throw away anything. I go to 2, and then we'll see what we draw. Okay, so just put out my blockers, and then I can double block this 4/3 with like this 2/5, which will be a 1/4, and the 3/3, which will be a 2/2. And that's actually an effective double block if they don't have anything. So no real decisions. Again, if they have removal, we're probably going to lose, but we're stalemated on board. I mean, even on board, as in this double block would trade with the Scoundrel, so they can't really attack unless they have something. I mean, they could if they want to trade the Scoundrel for the Ruffian, which might be a good trade, but because it's going to flip into a 6/5 in a second. But what does this do? As this permanent transforms into Curse of Leeches, attach it to a player. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, they lose 1 and you gain 1. Ouch. So I need it to go to night to not die. So I guess I have no choices but to pass now. 4/4 lifelink is good, but whatever. I have bigger stuff than that, but I can't take another point or I literally die. What do I have to get back? Burn down the house. I actually don't have any spot removal instants or sorceries. Just burn down the house, but I can make the 3 devils. All right, so I can trade the 6/5 for it. That's fine. Is that my only real option? Yes. If I double block with the 2 small creatures, I don't even kill it, so no real choice here. What? Did that have trample or something? What just happened? How did I die? What did I miss? Oh, they didn't play any spells, so the thing went back from night to day and then pinged me for 1. But there's nothing I could have done about that. Yeah, there's just nothing I could have done about that. I completely, like, didn't even realize they could do that, but also, like, there's, you know, I have to kind of, like, hope they just play a spell or whatever, I guess. The werewolf killed me? Oh, well, I can't take it, so, I mean, I guess I, again, didn't have a choice then. But I'll have to read that. I didn't know it had an ability like that. Oh, because the front side doesn't have it. On the back side, whenever a creature blocking it dies, it takes 1. Okay, yeah, I didn't know about that. Not that I have a choice. Take it, I die. Block it, I die. But yeah, I had no idea it had that ability. I'm not going to lie to you. Again, pre-release, but yeah, my bad. They had me double dead. What I said is still right, too, right? They could just pass. Oh, no, you have to play 2 spells to turn it from night to day, right? So they have to double spell before they could kill me. So maybe there was hope. Okay, so anyways, though. But yeah, okay. I completely missed that, but obviously I can't do anything about that. So we didn't see much. We saw, you know, a target for the +2/-2s. Again, they have a few, not that many. So I feel pretty good about having 2, not 3 of Immolation in. Do we want anything based on what we saw? Probably not. I mean, we didn't lose because of any real, like, problem cards. That game was just a little awkward, and I probably didn't play that well. I probably got a little too greedy on burning down the house. It's not something you do lightly, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was just talking about that drops. Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, not wrathing earlier was definitely a mistake. As far as at the time, I'm not really sure. I don't know how likely it is that they're going to be able to burn me out, like, in the format. Obviously, killing a whole extra card with it can be the difference between winning or losing, and so can 4 life. But if you have other productive things to do, you normally want to be pretty greedy in that scenario. All right, so we're definitely going to draw. Definitely going to keep. Yeah, they might have almost gotten lucky into that. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, Death Clipster. They didn't have a swamp, so that's why they had the 2 black creatures in their hand still at the end of the game. Their mana screw might have actually worked to their benefit. I'm going to kill that before it flips. Better to use 2 mana than 1, but also, like, they might just burn my 2-drop and then turn this into a 3/3, and then I can no longer kill it. And Immolation, as I've been saying, doesn't have that many great targets against their deck. So if it's a good 2/2 like this, I'm just going to take it out right away. I don't need to use the 1 extra mana that bad. Although now this might make me wish I had held it. What is this thing? When it enters the battlefield, if I lost life, put up a +1/+1 counter on each other vampire. And as long as the opponent lost life this turn, each other vampire enters the battlefield +1/+1. All right, that's not that scary. They have to have vampires. It does have Menace, so we can't block it with 1 thing anyway, so I guess this is pretty scripted. We're just going to hit them for 3, and then next turn we can double spell, potentially. I mean, I would consider holding back the 3/3 to block this, so it couldn't hit me and grow a vampire that they play next turn, but it's not really even an option because this thing has Menace, and I have no way to double spell. So, looks like they're going to net a +1/+1 counter if they've got a vampire. 2 of them if their vampire pumps other things. Not super happy about how that went. Not, like I said, nothing I could really do about it. So now they have a 3/3 Menace and a 3/3. So now I probably want to switch gears and try not to let them hit me. So the question is, do we play the 4 mana 2/5? Or do we play like 2 of these creatures? What do our blocks look like? 2 2/2s can block a 3/3 fairly well. I don't think there's going to be that many like instants that deal 2 here. Obviously there's some, but I don't think we saw too much of that in the previous games. If I have a 2/5 and a 3/3, the only way they can attack is by removing 1 pre-combat, like profitably, in which case they're also not going to play like a vampire and grow things. I guess the Blood Thief will grow something. Seems like I want to double spell by a little bit more, but I'm not really sure on this. Yeah, where's Burn Down the House this game, right? When they have this draw on the play. But yeah, no, this is it just depends on their hand, really. I mean, if their hand is like 2 removal spells, then like when they have this little aggressive start, it's gonna be rough for us. But if not, it's fine. If their hand is like a land and a creature to add to the board or something, like we already have like even blocks on board right now. So it's not a bad situation for us, assuming our draw is okay. All right, so now we have to decide what we want to kill. I think this turn we're going to go Ambitious Farhand and Cathartic Pyre. I mean, we don't have to Pyre now. We could wait and let them attack, which is probably correct, given they might make some kind of removal all-out attack or something, and then we'll have the Pyre available. Or if we double block and they go for a trick, we'll have the Pyre available. So I think this is a pretty clear turn. I have no idea which of their three creatures I'm going to Cathartic Pyre. Probably just have to do the Scoundrel if they attack with just that, because I don't have a profitable block on it, right? If I want to kill it, I have to block with the 3/3 and a 2/2 and lose both. So I'll probably, if they attack with Scoundrel, I probably just Pyre the Scoundrel and move about my business. If they send with all 3, then we might make some double blocks and see what they have. So for now, I'm going to go for this first. If they do something, then I can consider my block options. I know these other 2 creatures can grow things, but I mean, like, they're not hitting me now. How many vampires do they have? Okay, so I definitely want to deal 5 to that. But again, I probably don't want to do it right now. I probably want to flip my... Well, not flip, but... Wait. It's already day, so I need to cast no spells. Yeah, go to night, and then I get a +1/+1 counter, and I get to rummage away this mountain. So that looks good. So I'm just going to pass the turn, This doesn't have, like, hexproof or anything. I can deal with 5 anytime, right? Yes. So I'm going to pass for the Sunrise Cavalier and for the Astronomer. I don't really know where I want +1/+1 counters right now. I guess I'll spread out my resources. Put it on, like, the Astronomer. It's probably the weakest card I have. Definitely going to rummage away the Mountain, not the spells. So if I let them attack with the 5/5, they get to slime something. Which is not a huge deal, but probably not worth it. So I probably burn the Accused at the start of combat before the Sludge attacks. So we got the pause, so they have something. It doesn't mean they can interact with Burn the Accused on Sludge. They may just have a removal spell or something. But they've definitely got something. Yeah, maybe I should have cast another upkeep, but not necessarily, because they might play at the point that I'm already letting them untap their mana, I might as well give them the draw step, because they might play like a sorcery speed removal to give themselves like a good big attack, and then I've got the removal. So I think like if you're going to do it on your turn to play around counters, that probably makes sense, but if you're not going to do that to flip your werewolves, then you probably want to just let them go to combat, give them that pre-combat main phase where they might choose to make plays differently because they don't know you have the removal. All right, so we definitely want to kill that. Is there anything that gives Death Touch? Like, can I triple block that? Because, like, I mean, all 3 of my 3/3s are pretty close in ability and pretty good. And I don't really care, like, which one they kill. I just don't want to, like, lose all my stuff or something. There's Blade Brand. Okay, then I'm just going to block with 2 3/3s. Because, like, if I block with a 3/3 and a 1/1 and they have the removal, they get the free kill on the 1/1. And that matters a lot because this 1/1's not far from turning into a 3/3. But if I triple block, I throw away an extra 3/3. And I can't just let it hit me or it's going to end up growing things and whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and block with the 2. I'm just not going to block with the best of the 3 3/3s, which I think is the embodiment of Flame since it can already draw a card, since it's got a counter on it, right? So I'm going to block with the other 2 3/3s, I think. I mean, they have something because it paused when I went to burn the slime thing. Oh, it's a slime counter, not a flame counter. All right, well, I clearly didn't block with the correct 2 of the 3 3/3s then, but whatever. But all 3 of these have relevant abilities. I still have plenty of burn. Like, I could burn something and this could get a flame counter. How did it not just get a flame counter? Didn't I just burn a slime thing? Oh, it was a slime when I burned it, and then it became not a slime anymore once the Slime Lord left play. So, whatever. Like I said, I probably didn't block with the exact correct 2 3/3s there, but again, that's not a big deal at all. But for now, all right, that's a scary 3/3. I doubt they can do anything to save it. Oh, but if I burn it, I can't attack because they still have the ability to make a 4/4. Candle Trap, can't play. Okay, so this seems like just play the 4-mana 2/5 and pass pretty clearly. Because they played a Stuffed Bear, so I would have Cathartic Pyred the Blood Chief and just attacked with everything. But if I Cathartic Pyre the Blood Chief, I still can't attack because they'll just make a 4/4. So just play Tavern Smasher here. So if that hits me, it grows to a 4/4, so I have to block it if it attacks. So the question is, which one do I block it with? I got a wedding invitation. Whose wedding are we going to? Okay, so I think I do want to kill the 3/3, but I don't have to do it now. Does it open up attacks? It can. I mean, they can't activate the bear this turn. I mean, they can, but it'll be tapped. So, probably want to. If I have to double spell to flip, or to trigger Day-Night, does that still get me anything? It gets me the Astronomer, but I don't have anything I want to discard, so that doesn't have any value. So double spelling doesn't have any value right now. Thanks, Hypnotoad. Have a good night. So I think I kill the Blood Chief and just attack for 6, because, I mean, if they want to swing back, they can. I'm not doing better than this Blood Chief with Cathartic. That's definitely at the top of its range. I mean, I know they have the removal, so I might only deal them 3, but there's no real way around that. What is this ability? Exile top card, I can play it. This is only, what? This is -3, -13, -13 at night, -2, -2 during the day. I don't know. Do I remove the counter here? I can only play cards that cost 2 or less or play a land. I don't think so. This is an interesting game. I think, like, I want to be patient because, I mean, they've got removal. They've got a 4/4. I can't really kill them with pressure on board at the moment. So, but I've got Revelation now, so I can discard the next 2 lands for 4 more cards. So I think I just want to just, you know, take the damage where I can get it, because 9 is already a very real life total. But I don't think I can plan to win through aggression. Like, I don't think I want to make, like, sacrifices to flip this or something like that. I think I want to plan to just keep playing profitably on board and just, you know, I'll take the damage if I can get it. Thanks, Office Magic. Appreciate the 21 months of support. Blackjack, always a strong play. Yeah, so I can't do anything. I could pay the 1. I mean, it's a free roll if I'm not going to play the Revelation, which I'm not going to just play it discarding Candle Trap, I don't think. I can play 2-mana Instants. I do have some, so I should do it, right? Most likely I'm not going to get to play the card, but unless I deck myself, milling myself for 1 is irrelevant. And I do have some 2-mana Instants. I have another Cathartic Pyre. I have the deal 2, gain 2. I have a few cards I might hit that would be, you know, somewhat profitable to play right now. That's not one of them. Can't play auras on my opponent's turn, can I? I did play both Pyres, you're right. But I'm still right that I have some cards. I had at least the deal 2, gain 2 Sacred Fire. Might be the only card if I played both Pyres. So do we want to rummage anything away? Not really. I mean, Candle Trap's not real useful right now, but it's a stalemate, and that's pretty good removal. We already have 2 different powers out. I think I'm just chilling. Now we'll discard that. And I don't really want to attack, have them block with the 4/4 and me burn it. So again, I'm just chilling. Yeah, it would have been bad for them to attack with the bear, because then I would just attack back and I'm winning the race pretty comfortably. The bear is stopping my 3/3 from attacking. That's why they didn't attack with it. So what am I getting back? I've got some pretty good dead stuff. I can get back Pyre or burn the Accused. Probably just burn the Accused. All right, so we're going to have to Candle Trap that. Do we Sacred Fire into turn? I think so. It only kills small things anyway. And I don't need it for the dragon. I've got the Candle Trap. So now, I mean, this is just an easy enough turn. Definitely Candle Trap the dragon. I can attack because they don't have 2 for the bear. And then I'm going to play the Elementalist and get back the big burn spell. The deal 5 to a creature and 2 to them. That's definitely better than deal 3 or deal 2 or the Rummage effect, which has flashback and I don't have anything I want to discard anyway. Well, Revelation gets you 2 cards, right? Astronomer only gets you 1. Like, if I discard the Revelation to the Astronomer, I get my next card now, but then what happens with the next land I draw? I can't cycle that away. Revelation, when you cast it, cycles away a land, the land you draw and the Revelation. So, I mean, it could be worth it if you don't have other stuff to do, but I kind of already had the ability to use all my mana, so I wasn't in a hurry to rummage to find something to do, because I could already spend all 5 mana profitably playing Elementalist and the Candlelight that I played on the dragon. Alright, obviously we're not chumping at 18. So, well, they could have blocked, but it was a 3-power creature, so their creature would die. Remember, like, they might want to keep this 4/3 out to block the 2/1 profitably turn after turn. If they block my 3/3, their 4/3 dies. I know it ain't doing much, but it doesn't mean they were wrong to not block. Okay, that said, I don't think we need the 2/1 back, so I'm going to attack to lower the cost of the Search Party Captain by 1. Play that and see what we get. Cool. Even though I can't attack with it now because we're already past combat, I'll still spend my mana. I've got 2 flashback cards and a 5-mana spell in hand. I'm happy to get to use the 3 mana this turn instead of having to spend it next turn to put the Cavalier in play. Don't tell the opponent I forgot it had haste. I didn't actually. That was a joke if you didn't catch. I drew it off the Captain, which I played post-combat for 3 because I attacked with the Elementalist. Okay, so now if I can attack with both, burn the bear. I'm not like excited about burning this this bear out, but given they're at 6, this attack itself is literally putting them to 2 life. I think it's pretty clearly the right play. The Sacred Fire is lethal, and they have to draw a blocker. So they basically have to draw a blocker that gains life right now. Because if they don't play a blocker, they're dead on board if they drew like a counter. If they play a blocker, I'm just going to Sacred Fire them to death. Good games, and we're on to the finals of the pod. Pre-release, no problem. Who cares if I'm reading every card? I'm just talking smack. It's basically a pre-release for everybody, obviously. I avoid the previews, and most people don't. But having read the cards and maybe done a few more sealed and drafts than me today does not, like, you know, it's a pre-release for everybody. The set came out today. All right, let's see who we got next round. In the finals of this pod, we have the Nerdy Steve. I don't know if somebody needs to tell him, but he's just bragging. It's 2021. Nerdy's a compliment now. Maybe make your name something a little more humble, Steve. Hey, thanks, Harmony. Appreciate the compliment. I'm glad you're able to stop in. Change it to Humble Steve for the irony. Hey, that's just my 2 cents. I admit bias. You know, growing up as a nerdy kid in the 90s when, you know, we were still bullied quite a bit. I mean, I know there's still bullying today, but, like, culturally when, like, gaming was not mainstream and, like, you know, it was a lot more, like, nerdy to play, like, you know, Magic and stuff like that. I'm just going to give my completely unbiased opinion and say that with how mainstream gaming has gone over the past 20 years, the nerds won. Let's admit it. We won. Come on. We can brag a little. So, the Nerdy Steve, though, may not be ready. I'm sure the further back you go, the rougher it was. People generally get better over time, despite what it might seem like from the news. All right, we're in the finals of the pod. We're still drawing first, of course. With 3 immolations and 2 candlelights, we're going to draw first in every matchup. Like, there's no amount of speed a deck can have that they can run over a deck consistently that has 5 1-mana removal spells. So we are in the draw first business. I always tell people, like, people always think of, like, whether their deck is aggressive or not as whether they should choose to draw or play. There's a pretty strong correlation there, but it's not actually the causal factor. The main factors that actually make me choose to draw first are difference in deck speed. As in, if my cards can all block my opponent's cards, like, imagine all your cards were 1-mana 2/2s, and imagine all of your opponent's cards were 1-mana 2/2s, and none of those creatures had any abilities. Like, your opponent's deck, whenever 1 or more other creatures die, draw a card. Yeah, so imagine, like, your opponent's deck was all just 1-mana 2/2s. Just, they played 25 of them, and your deck was that. What good would being on the play first be? Your opponent played a 2/2, you'd play a 2/2, they'd attack, you'd block, right? Being on the play is good when your deck is either a lot faster or a lot slower than your opponent's, or if you can ride, like, aggression to a victory before the opponent can, like, empty their hand. And so I have a controller's deck, but with 5 1-mana removal spells you're not like running me over, right? You're beating me because my draw didn't line up well against yours, and then I'm dying to your aggression. But it's not raw speed that's beating me. You know, like 25% of the spells in my deck kill a creature for 1 mana. Okay, so for now, this isn't going great, but we've got the sweeper. I don't really want to give it away, and I have a pretty strong hand. I'm just going to play the 2/2, sit back, and prepare to block. Thanks, Shiorok. So if a creature dies, they get to draw a card, though. So we don't want that. So I'm not going to double block. I would have double blocked the Opportunist, because if they use removal or something, I wouldn't care, because I have Burning Down the House. But for now, I'm not going to double block and just give them a free card. I know they'll still get the card when I do Burning Down the House, but it's 1 card. It's not like they get a card per creature, right? Whenever 1 or more other creatures dies, draw a card. So for now, though, I could pass and turn this into a 4/4, which would make it a stalemate again, but then they could also... No, they can't Candlelight it. They have to play another creature, so I should probably just do that. Because I do want to make them overcommit if possible. I have some instants to play, and it's a stalemate, right, if I just pass the turn. It turns to night, I can build a 4/4 blocker, which means they don't have a profitable attack without doing anything. And if they do something, I can probably get more value out of Burn Down the House. Because they have to put down a creature. Well, that's a scary card. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. So what does this do? Whenever a crypt creature dies, you pay X, where X is power, and draw that many cards. I don't like this at all. I think we just went from looking really good to looking really bad. So now if I sweep the board, they're going to draw infinite cards. If I don't sweep the board, they're hitting me with the flyer. This just got rough. How would it be profitable? Oh, yeah, their attack with all, because, like, the 4/4 doesn't deal damage, but, like, whatever. They deal me 2 or whatever. It's not, like, a big deal. But now I don't know what I can do that's good at all. X-Life? Oh, yeah, sure. Any amount of cards they want. That's ridiculous. How is this a real card? Do I have any Artifact Kill in my deck? I think I have 1 or 2 in the sideboard. I don't know how I beat that card. Oh, X. No, X is its power. Okay, but still, like, yeah, this is very problematic. Well, I don't think I really have choices now. That really forces my hand, and there's really nothing I can do. I just have to start playing my cards, I think. This is very rough now. I was a very happy camper before they played that artifact. I was looking at the board, and I was like, wow, I'm just going to, like, take, like, 2 or 3 and have good blocks, and then I'm going to sweep the board, and then they'll draw, like, 1 card, but I've got all this, like, card drawing and a control deck, and I'll be great. But, yeah, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to beat this mask. I might have to literally deck them to beat this mask. It's just basically infinite cards. All right, so we can get back the deal 5 to everything and do it one more time, I guess, and then we're going to have to try and kill everything one at a time. Again, I'm not saying we're going to win. I'm not saying we have a reasonable path to victory now through the mask. I thought everything was looking good, and then, I was going to play a nice sweeper, like a 4-for-2, 3-for-1 range, going up a couple cards, and then have a bunch of card drawing and all of that. But I don't realistically see a path to victory from here. So Decay dies, but so does my 2/1 to my sweeper, so I might as well just block, save a few points. Obviously, like, I'm just hoping I can deal with every single thing they play. I mean, that's basically the plan. That's the only plan. It's not a great plan, but the mask doesn't give power and toughness. So if I just literally kill all their creatures, then we're good. But that's pretty much it. And obviously I can't do that now, so I'm just going to pack this in. Okay, yeah, so we're a control deck. We need to kill the mask. I have the 1 artifact kill this thing, which is fine. Maybe I'll give something +2/+2, probably not. Did we see anything else meaningful, or just a bunch of medium creatures? They played like a candle trap. Clearly they have small creatures. This shouldn't be a bad matchup for us. Just don't really know how I can beat that card if they draw it. I don't even know if it's possible, really, with what my deck does. Yeah, I'll board in the 1 artifact kill, and I see a lot of cards, but I think that's pretty much all I can do. Try and keep my life total up because they have a bunch of decay, which, if they're not sacking the creatures for value, I'm not scared of taking 2 from them. So, I mean, the decay is definitely beatable. The mask, if it's going, is not. Then they just throw it on each one. Thanks for subscribing, Harmony. Appreciate the support. May we all live in harmony, whether we're winning or losing at whatever game we're playing right now. Hi, Smith number 6. I hope you know The Matrix is my all-time favorite movie. So what are we boarding out? Anything bad against them? I would never have guessed. Okay, so I don't want to board out the Immolating Fire because we saw plenty of the Immolation, because we saw plenty of targets. I don't really have much to board out. My cards are pretty good. I could take out like a Ruffian, although they block a lot of their creatures. I could take out... No, I don't have that many big removal spells. I don't think I want to take out Burn the Accused, do I? I guess they don't have much that's that big to kill. I am kind of excited for the new Matrix movie. Like, I'll definitely see it, and I usually don't see, like, Movie X Part 8 or whatever. But, you know, the story was amazing, and I felt like the first movie was basically a standalone story. I enjoyed the second and third just fine, but I didn't even think they needed to come out, so we'll just see what 4 has to offer. Okay, I want to bring in the Artifact Kill. I don't have anything I particularly want to take out. I'm just going to take out, like, the Burn the Acute... No, I'll take out, like, a Ruffian. I want to make sure the Artifact Kill gets in, and, whatever. I have all the Instants and Sorcery synergies and stuff, so I'll take out a Ruffian instead of the, 5-mana removal. Definitely still drawing, even though they're an aggro deck. Like I said, infinite cheap removal, as you can see. This is not sealed. Yeah, that's the real reason, Dangle. I know I've been saying it's the efficiency of cut the hair and the beard at the same time and never have to shave, but it's not. It's really because I wanted to be able to potentially play Neo. That was the reason. Okay, we don't have the Sweeper. I'm going to go ahead and use 2 mana instead of 1. I think we can take a hit for 2 here. I don't want to get low knowing they have all that decay, but it's just 1 hit. And most likely they'll play a creature, and then we'll be able to double spell. Okay, I don't really see any decisions. Candle Trap on the creature that can't block now is great, and Immolation is going to kill this 2/2 that has powerful abilities. This turn was pretty much just scripted. So nothing to get back yet, because that's an enchantment. So again, we don't really have options. I guess I can attack. Maybe I shouldn't have played the land. Maybe I should have just rummaged away the land. Pass a turn and, you know, go to night. I could rummage away the Raise the Effigy, and then if they do play the artifact, I can just get it back with this Elementalist. That's an option. But I don't necessarily want to have to hold the Elementalist forever. I think we can just see what they have. I have, like, more ways. I have, like, another Astronomer. I have the discard 1 to draw. I have a few ways to get rid of that card if they don't draw the artifact. And also, like, they might just have other artifacts. Like, you know, if I end up killing some little artifact creature or some other equipment, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so we can't do anything about that right now, but that's all right. All right, we know. I'm glad that they had and played that because that's going right to the yard. So we don't want to rummage away any of these. So we're gonna raise the equipment. Do I attack with the 3/3? Yes, and I should do it first because they might not block because they want to have the creature in play to wear the mask. But then post combat, I'm just gonna kill the mask. Maybe I should have raised on their turn. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't gonna get back with the Elementalist, so I didn't really have ways to spend 4 mana. I didn't even think about doing it because it's so cheap. Figured like just can do it when you want, but maybe I should have definitely thought about it and maybe done it just to use the mana in case I drew something like a good 4-drop. I honestly didn't even think about it. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I say I didn't think about it, that's not a defense of not thinking about it. It's just the set came out today, and like I don't like intuitively know all the cards like I will in a week. So like sometimes I just literally don't think about something. But yeah, I could have done it to use the mana. I could hold it to be able to do it at instant speed after they sync the mana to equipping, or I could do it when I did it, and I did it when I did it because I wanted to attack for. Well, I probably should have still let them equip. Actually, that was a bad play. I probably just got real scared because this card has single-handedly beat me and they have 1 card left and I'm going to win this game probably. But I probably shouldn't even have done it when I did it, to be honest. Okay, anyways, we're not going to do better with the 3/2 than that, or Candlelight on a 4/4 that we can predict, so no real decisions here. No, it's a good question. I want to be clear. I was just explaining because that's been my answer a few times tonight, and that's not usually my answer because I usually think about pretty much everything I'm supposed to. But yeah, no, it's a good question. If I ever do anything that doesn't make sense to you, by all means ask. Like maybe think about it a second time and double check the board, but then definitely ask. I love getting asked questions like that. Let me explain something that probably 50 of the 650 viewers were wondering. And there was not a good reason for it. The reason was literally I just did not even think about it. That was just the truth. So, okay. So we can attack the 2/2, but they have 2 different creatures that can block it. I can play the 3/3 haste. Then I get in some damage. That's probably correct. Otherwise, I'm what? Arcane Elementalist, bringing back Sacred Fire. I'd much rather get back Burn the Accused. It's a much stronger card. So I think it's clearly worth using 3 mana instead of 4 and dealing 2 damage to get to hold on to the Elementalist. Because returning Burn the Accused could easily be much better than returning Sacred Fire. Okay, so where are we at now? Well, I think now we're going to just Arcane Elementalist back the Sacred Fire because we don't really have anything else productive to do that uses a lot of mana. And we can still attack with both. What is this thing? 3/3 first strike at the beginning of combat coven, which they have. If you control 3 different creatures, give another 1 double strike. All right, that's a powerful card. I mean, it's not like we're going to leave it and the 2/1 fly around. Pretty sure this turn is basically scripted now. We'll just burn the 3/3 and attack. So they played a Candle Trap. Those are my Candle Traps. No more artifacts. I mean, even just with the 1, I have to have that card, and I see a lot of cards, so... There are definitely decks. Like, if I was like a Boros aggro deck, I would not board in Raise the Effigy just because I saw 1 broken artifact. Because what happens if I draw Raise and they don't... Well, I might because it gives +2/+2, and that would be good if I was an aggro deck. But pretend this card just said 1 red, destroy an artifact, and had no other abilities. I wouldn't board this in just because they have 1 even broken artifact out of an aggro deck. But out of a deck like mine, it's different, because if this card is a dead draw, I can discard it to these 2 Astronomers, which generally trigger multiple times a game. I can discard it to the other card too, the Revelation. So I have like ways to still cash it in for value. If you're an aggro deck and you see one broken artifact, you should board and raise the effigy, but that's because 1 mana +2/+2 is practically a playable card in an aggro deck. It's not a good trick, but it's just barely not playable. That's why they started making these modal artifact and enchantment kills, which was a really good job by R&D. I know that Wizards takes a lot of heat, including from me, and a lot of it is really deserved regarding OP, which literally they messed up one of the greatest things of all time through sheer incompetence. But that's a conversation for when we have a lot more time, in my opinion. And I say they, it could be Hasbro's fault. It might not be the WotC people's fault. But as far as limited card design over the past few years, they've done a great job. Like, I want to give credit where it's due to R&D making the limited sets, because like a lot of the changes, like these making situational answers like artifact and enchantment kill have another ability, making them modal, makes them so much more usable and limited. So now we don't just lose automatically if our opponent has like a really good artifact or enchantment, and we're not caught in this impossible place between boarding in an answer that's a dead card unless they draw their one of. So like, I think that was an excellent change. I think making 1 and 6 drops and 5 drops better was an excellent change. I think the sets as a whole have been pretty balanced and interesting. I've been really happy with what they've done regarding limited Magic over the past few years, as far as the design of the cards. I have not been really happy that they've removed limited from competitive, but then, of course, they also just removed competitive, so. Anyways, we're here in the finals of the pod against the Nerdy Steve. The Nerdy Ben versus the Nerdy Steve. May the nerdiest win. And pretty sweet red-white control. Like to see if we can win our first draft pod of the format with it. Definitely drawing first every game, like I've been talking about. So I can put out one of my 2/2s to block that, or I can use my removal spell on it. That's not really a scary creature for me. I mean, I can trade off an Astronomer for it. I even have 2, and a second one is pretty much completely redundant, right? I mean, they might trigger one at a time. Maybe you get to rummage both, twice, but like, okay, so you rummage away the land, you draw another land, you get to rummage it away right now, if it even works like that. Like, big deal. So now they have a 3-mana 3/2. That's a little better to kill. Not very exciting. The only way we could use 3 mana would be playing the 3/3 haste, but I don't want that trade. I would definitely play the 3/3 haste, even if it was just to pass the turn, if I had another mountain in my hand, because then I could double spell with 2 2-mana cards next turn. But since I don't, I might rather just kill that, or play like the Astronomer that can block it or something like that. I don't really want to play Cathartic Pyre until Flame Channeler's out, since Cathartic Pyre flips Flame Channeler. So I think I'm literally just going to play the Astronomer and pass. I mean, I have a block on their creature. I'm a control deck. If I play the Cavalier, it's to pass, and then I can't even block with it. So I think I just play the Astronomer, which I'll happily trade for their 3/2, and then just continue about my day. So if we draw a mountain, well, we don't really want to Cathartic Pyre that, so I think pretty much we're just going to hit them with Cavalier here no matter what. I don't think I want to Candle Pyre that either, Candle Trap that now. I know it's an efficient removal, but I'm still at 20. If they do something like whenever a vampire deals damage, it grows, I can kill it later, like this Blood Chief. But if I draw a mountain, I might end up just sweeping the board. Even if I, they might play a big creature that I actually need Candle Trap for, so I think it makes sense to wait. That said, they did play the Blood Chief, so now I have to make, not Blood Thief, not Chief. So now I do have to make choices. So I can pass the turn, my 3/3 will grow to a 4/4, and then when they attack, I can pyre the Interloper, but then I'm piring before the Flame Channeler, though I feel less bad about that now that I have the Elementalist. But I'd still rather do it after, because then I can net an extra card that way. I can Candle Trap and then I don't flip, but that doesn't actually matter that much. I mean, not flip, but get a counter. While it's always nice to get a counter, a 3/3 blocks the 1/1 and the 2/2 profitably anyway. So I think I'm just going to Candle Trap the Interloper now. I'm giving up a +1/+1 counter, but it doesn't actually matter on board at the moment. And I leave up Cathartic Pyre to use at instant speed if they play something good that I need to kill. But if they don't, I don't want to just pyre something random to play the Elementalist. I'd rather play the Flame Channeler first, and then when I play the Pyre, I flip it, and then if I Elementalist back the Pyre and play it a second time, I'll get a free card off Embodiment of Flame. I'm not saying it's all going to work out that way. Obviously, it depends what the opponent's holding. I'm just pointing out that it could. Okay, so they have Covenant, so I don't really want to let them go to combat, do I? I guess I don't care. I would trade Cavalier for Blood Thief, right? Would I? It's about even. Because I'm going to Cathartic Pyre away this Dualcraft Trainer, but the question is, do I let the Covenant trigger? They can give Double Strike to the Veteran, I would just eat it, or they can give Double Strike to the Blood Thief, and then it's a trade. So the question is, do I want that trade? Cavalier for Blood Thief. Thank you, Galuba Fish. Appreciate the subscription. Thank you, Dear Thoughts. I appreciate your dear thoughts on my beard. Yeah, I don't care. I'll let them go to combat and trigger that. I think it's a good trade for me. Blood Thief is pretty scary. I know my creature can grow, but I'm a control deck, and I think their card is scary here. Because, like, I want to just play this now on the 3/3 Double Strike, and then I can play Elementalist and get it back. So I don't really have good blocks this turn, which means the Blood Thief would grow something again. So do I have anything left to get back? No. I have to use stuff first. I really needed to have just drawn one more mountain this game. I know I got done. I know during the draft portion I said how it doesn't matter that much. You know, most of the values in drawing the first one. I really do just need a second mountain here at some point. Remember, this is like turn 8 or something. It's not turn 4. Maybe not 8, but turn 2, turn 3, turn 4... 5, 6. It's like turn 7 or something. It actually is like turn 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. I think it's 7. Anyways, though, I can obviously take a hit for 3, so I think of it. This is just Flame Channeler. I want that out before I play the Pyre. Stops the 2/1/1s. I take the hit for 3 from the Cathars. I don't want to take too much damage all willy-nilly, because we know they have those Decay Zombies, the 3/4s that make 2. And I don't want to have to, like, trade with decay tokens. If they just throw them at me to deal 2, as long as the damage isn't, you know, killing me or something, it's not a big deal. So that's a sorcery. Do I double block? I maybe do, because now I can't Cathartic Pyre it. And if I draw a mountain, I have Burn Down the House. Although I don't really want to burn down the house until after they play one of those 3/4s that, like, makes 2 zombies or something, potentially. I probably should just take this. If I draw a land, I can burn it away. Well, you know how much I love that card, but it might be beatable from this position. I really need to just draw a mountain. Now I wish I had double blocked, of course, because now they're going to be able to put that on the Cathars, potentially. But there's nothing I can do about that. Yeah, I know Pyre can loot, but do I really want to just dig for 2 cards right now? Remember, if I found the mountain, I didn't have enough mana to play Burn Down the House, so this is already going to get to equip this, which was what we didn't want to happen. But it happens either way. That said, Burn the Accused does exile, so we can burn this, and they won't get to draw the cards. So there is that. So there's still hope. We need to draw a land. Well, okay. We didn't draw land, but we drew the Raise the Effigy. That's decent, I guess. So, assuming they don't do anything pre-combat that changes this, I'm going to make the play that I was talking about 2 turns ago, that I wish I had made 2 turns ago, but I think was right not to. It became hindsight when they played the Mask. Oh, come on. Well, I guess unless they put another counter on it, it's not that big of a deal at the moment. Because I can't double block it now, but I can still chump it and finish it with Pyre. Or just burn down whatever. So I was planning to bring it down and then double block it. Now I can't really do that. But I'll chump it with the 2/1 that's not doing much. Oh, I can't Pyre. What am I saying? I don't have a second red. But I'll still chump it with the 2/1 that's not doing much. Come on, mountain. Once in my life. How do I never draw this mountain? I might have to try and Pyre for red now, I guess. Am I going to die? This is ridiculous. What does this thing do? Whenever it dies, you draw a card. Okay. We're almost halfway through my deck, and I'm playing 9 mountains, y'all. I'm kind of expecting to draw one over all these turns. I didn't think I was going to have to Pyre for a mountain. Although, I guess at this point, maybe I do. No, I know I'm not dead on board, but... because I mean, I could just block and take 1, 2, 3, 5, even if I didn't cast anything. But the question is, what do I do? Think I Pyre now. I didn't want to, but I think I do. I mean, what am I even discarding? My hand is all good cards. Like, I can discard, like, the Immolation, I guess. I could just play Elementalist here, just have a chump blocker and get back raise the effigy. Thanks for the subscription, Bane on a Plane. I guess I'm Pyring, discarding like Immolation, and like that's it. I don't know. I guess I have to discard one more because I have to find a mountain for next turn to not lose. So I guess it's Purifying Dragon. This is literally horrible that I have to do this. Like, ridiculous. I mean, if they brick, we're still in good shape. If they draw removal here, they win, obviously. I mean, I shouldn't say we're in good shape. We're going to be at, like, 5. But, I mean, at 2. But we could win from there. So they get this, like, 1/1 flyer we have to beat from 2 plus their draw steps. This is rough. Well, that's actually a pretty nice draw, I think. Okay, though, so for this turn, we have to kill the 3/3. So hopefully they don't have a way to enhance the 1/1 flyer. We can go to 1, and then next turn we can go back to 3. So this looks like Elementalist, get back Pyre, and just hit the 3/3 double strike. And then hopefully next turn we can use Sacred Fire plus either Ruffian or Burn the Accused. I have Pyres in the yard, right? Yeah. That did feel good, but it would have felt a lot better 1 or 2 turns earlier. Alright, so let's get rid of the 3/3 double strike. Hopefully they don't have a way to deal the extra 1 damage. I mean, I don't care at all if this pokes me to 1 right now, but if they give it +1/+1, I'm dead, obviously. Don't do it! Don't cast anything! Okay. So far, so good. Just getting that out of the way. Now let's start the process of killing them. Hopefully they don't draw anything surprising. I mean, we're in good shape. I've got flashback removal, 2 removal in hand. This is going to flip into a 6/5 soon. Well, there goes the clock aspect of that. So, killing that in response, obviously they still get the ability, right? Oh yeah, maybe I should have just played the 2/5, but then if they draw removal, it's real bad. Alright, well I have to flash this back now since they're taking it, so no choices there. Do we want to kill the 3/4? It lets us keep hitting for 2. That's not very much. Should probably save Burn the Accused for a flyer. The only thing is if they draw a creature, they're going to be able to remove the 6/5 with Candlelight. And then I'm going to have to burn the Diregraph Horde anyway. So I'm not sure whether it makes sense to burn the Diregraph Horde to keep attacking for 2. I mean, right now I have a block on the 3/4. Yeah, if they play a creature, we could remove it in response. That's true. And a lot of creatures are going to have 2 and 3 power, so we can see if they play a 1 or 4 power creature. Because most likely it won't be, right? Most creatures probably have 2 and 3 power. I mean, certainly they're some of the most common amounts of power to have. I probably need to stop playing land since I do have all those rummage things. So slap me in the hand if I try and play a land again. All right, that's not bad. Flip that into a 3/3 lifelink. I decked first, but did I throw away all my win conditions? Like, this deck is not bad at closing. I have a Sunrise Cavalier left, a Search Party Captain. Not that that thing's probably going to kill them. I actually don't have much left. Wow. Because I boarded out the other Tavern Smasher. Yeah, I could end up decking. Hopefully they don't... hopefully they can't kill this farmhand. Alright, so now... Guess let's just transform this. It's more mana efficient to burn the Accused, but we still don't know if that's what we're going to do. In fact, I don't think it is. While I have Coven, I probably should use this. And I need to play a land to have burn up now, so let's do that. But yeah, it depends what they're holding. I mean, on board, I'm in pretty good shape. Remember, I'm holding 2 removal spells too. Yeah, but if I don't keep the dragon, I'm discarding burn, and then maybe I lose to a flyer or a bomb rare or something when I'm up a lot. Remember, I didn't have like a mad excess good unconditional removal in my hand, and I don't even have a ton of it in my deck or anything. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Equipped creature can't be blocked by creature's power 4 greater. Alright, whatever. Hopefully they don't have like some way to deal 2 to the player or whatever, but I can't like assume that. Oh, wait, I'm at 8, not 5 anymore. Okay. And these things can't even block because they're decayed. Yeah, no big deal. I know what I said. I'm playing lands now because I have so many and so few cards left. What do I have? I have the 3/3 Sunrise Cavalier. I have a Search Party Captain. Those are my only actual threats. But I have an Immolation, a Pyre, and a Revelation left. Revelation doesn't do much except get me to the other ones quicker. What is this card? Sacrifice it, exile it. Okay, killing it's not going to help me. Clock off for now. So I have 2 threats left. This card has Flashback? Well, this is going to be very rough. I think I'm probably going to deck. Which means I almost certainly punted this game. Tough way to go out. This was definitely a very winnable game. I mean, if I draw the threats right away, I can win, but it's probably not going to happen. I'm hoping that they'll rummage or draw a card. I think that might be my only way to win. I don't think they're going to do it unless they absolutely have to. I'm pretty sure at this point they realize like they're decking me. It's so sad. I had a Tavern Smasher I boarded out, just grabbing something real quick and then forgot to look at. This is not, like, I shouldn't lose to decking like this. This is, like, errors on my part for sure. I mean, yeah, my draw wasn't perfect, but I should have been able to win this game. I lost this game to lack of skill, not lack of draw quality. Enters the battlefield, destroy creature you don't control dealt damage. Disturb. What's the disturb half? Would be put no game from anywhere. Well, they all do that. Flying Death Touch 2/2. Okay. So that's going to pump that. All right, I'm decking first, right? 6/6. So let's go ahead and deal 1 and draw a card. So that they can't pump that. And then I'm going to Cathartic Pyre this in response so it can't pump itself either. I have less than them. Like, now I have, like, 1.5 less than them. Before I played that card, I had 1 less than them or whatever. Or a half less than them. Meaning we had the same, but I'm drawing first. I'm fairly certain I'm going to deck. I don't really... I mean, I have 2 threats left in the bottom 4, and I have a removal that does 2 to them. but I don't see how I realistically don't deck from here. I guess they could brick the next couple turns and die to my threats. Like, I can use Burn the Accused on that, which I don't really want to, but I can take the draw step first anyway. I have infinite mana. Okay, so then, is this card an instant? No, so let's play this, see what we get. Okay, I can't cast that, or I literally deck, so I might not even be able to feasibly win now, based on the order, even if they draw lands from here, but I have 2 cards left, hit them for 5, they go to 6, and they drew... Oh, they had that for that. Yeah, I don't know, I'm probably decked. And this was a pure punt. This was a failure of me, not a failure of the deck, so I'm sorry, Red-White Control. You deserve better than this. My last card is the other 3/3 haste. I am dead. That was epic, though. Well, thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. That was super fun. I think it was a pretty sweet deck. I don't think I did it justice. I think that was certainly a game I should have won. And then who knows what happens, obviously. Can't play my very tightest. I mean, this is a pre-release. I think I played okay, given I literally am seeing half the cards for like the first time. But I do have some plays I regret in that game. And that game, I talk all the time how draw quality is the most important factor in deciding the outcome of a game. That game was not decided by draw quality. It was decided by player skill. I drew well enough that had I used my tools better, I could have won the game. And that's not in hindsight or anything. That's like, I should have made a few choices slightly better and I would have probably won. So thanks to everybody who tuned in. Good luck in the Final Four to the Nerdy Steve. Good luck to all of you in your pre-releasing all weekend. I will be playing an in-person pre-release tomorrow night if anybody's in the South Florida area at Time Twister Games in Davie at 7 p.m. I'll be tweeting pictures of my deck and some stuff like that. Then I'm going to mostly be playing poker over the weekend, but I'm going to play from my phone all weekend so I get like familiar with the cards. And then my plan is to make some content, do some live streams starting next week, like Monday, Tuesday during the week, since there's a new format and it will be exciting. So, and if I like it, it seems fun. I don't think this is going to be like the last core set. I think when I'm playing all weekend, I'm going to be itching to talk to you about my thoughts on the format at the start of next week. So it's important to me that I get in a lot of hour pokers right now because of the house stuff, but my plan is play this like from my phone and like on breaks and like work all weekend. And then Monday and Tuesday, I plan to do some streams and maybe even put up a YouTube video. So definitely look out for that. I'm not committing to YouTube videos, but I am planning to stream next week during the week. So thank you to everybody who tuned in. I do really appreciate the support. I know I haven't been making a lot of content lately. It's going to ebb and flow, like I said. I mean, not going anywhere, but it's not really that good of a full-time job. So appreciate y'all hanging in there. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the support. If you like the stream, spread the word. And I will see you next time. Good luck in your pre-releases. I hope y'all enjoy the new set. And I will raid the Nerdy Steve if possible. Is their Twitch name just the Nerdy Sleeve? I'll raid Voxy, but if the Nerdy Sleeve is playing the semis and just beat me, I'd prefer to raid them. Have a good weekend, Brazil. Good luck down there in your pre-releases. And have a good one, y'all.